The stream's starting now. Whoa, in the fade-in. What's up, guys? Welcome to Merrick TV. Welcome to Coffee Break 2.0. Guys, 2.0. This is the new and improved. This is the second annual coffee break. We're going to be trying to do this every couple of weeks, every few weeks, as soon as we get another person to join us, and we are upping the quality. I mean, look at the quality on this thing, man. This is thanks to our amazing artist, Tiffy Mew. If anybody could do exclamation point Tiffy in the chat, this is who is responsible for the glory that you see on stream, including the Pony Sona. This is what I've been told is what they are called. The Pony Sona in the bottom left-hand corner of Cryptic Villain's window. Yes, that is Cryptic in pony form. Not only is that Cryptic in pony form, he was a regular pony turned into a unicorn with the cursor from YOLO Mouse. From last time, if you guys had seen that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's the YOLO Mouse unicorn, the YOLO uni. And then Pew in the bottom right of his window, his Pony Sona, looking handsome, dude. Feels good. All right, guys, I'm gonna pass this over to Cryptic. He can do our intro and sort of introduce everything.
I don't know. I feel like that's all we need. We don't need to just end the stream there.
This was great, guys. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Welcome everybody to Coffee Break. This is our podcast style stream that we've done once before. We're gonna keep doing it. Everybody seems to like it. Feel free, if you have any suggestions for Coffee Break, to note it down in the Coffee Break channel in Discord. Is that what it's called?
It is. It is. Yeah.
So give your suggestions, your feedback, your criticism, concerns, love, respect in that channel. But anyway,
you could just PM Cryptic with the criticisms.
Yeah,
that part is okay.
Yeah,
Only Cryptic.
Only me. I will carry the burden of the criticism. Anyway, my name is Cryptic Villain. I have been playing Guild Wars 2 for quite a bit, and I'm one of the hosts here in Coffee Break. I'm a raider. I've been doing a little more open world stuff recently, trying to explore the rest of the game that I haven't touched in so long, and been getting into fractals, which we will talk about today. But I'm also here with my wonderful co-host, Merrick TV, below me somewhere.
Low and to the left.
This is inverted. It's tough.
Wait, other way.
Nice, there you go,
So it's a lovely host, Merrick TV. He is an awesome guy, wonderful streamer. You all know him. That's why you're here. And he's a great raider. And he is also a huge brony, as you can tell. This stream is nothing but a confirmation of that.
I still didn't do it. None of this is mine. None of this was designed by Merrick TV. I am a victim of circumstance.
I feel like it was endorsed by Merrick TV.
I abstain.
Just accept the responsibility for the ponies.
I can't do it.
And then, of course, to the bottom, I guess that would be to the bottom right of my screen. Over there somewhere.
Wait.
There we go.
My God,
we have Juniper Prime. Junie is the wonderful moderator, admin, assistant, everything. What do you call someone that's like gets you gigs and stuff?
Wife.
No, that's not wife too. Agent, there you go. Agent for marriage. Manager, there you go.
Yeah.
Yay, Pat.
She is all the things that we are not. She is amazing.
True.
She's also been playing Guild Wars 2 forever, and big MMO fan like the rest of us. And then, of course, with the one, the only, to my direct right, inverted, is Pewricky, also known as Pew.
Pew!
Yay.
He is a phenomenal. He is the best, world-renowned, guys. World-renowned. If you didn't know, world-renowned open worlder.
No, this is real.
Anything. No exaggeration at all. Anything open world that you need to know, he is the man. And he also has a wonderful website, which we will get into later, that can tell you everything you need to know about the open world stuff. So. Welcome,
the definitive answer to all things open world, okay? This guy, the biggest of deals. But what we were really excited about talking with Pew is that he sort of represents the other side of Guild Wars 2 from like a lot of what we do, right? Like Cryptic Villain and I, we're end game players who do a lot of raids, pretty much like locked ourselves in the aerodrome for the last couple of years. But Pew is literally the guy who has figured out the best way to optimize open world content, the best way to farm in open world, the best money making stuff, everything that I suck at. Okay, like everything I don't do, that's this guy.
Yeah, it pretty much goes doubly for me. So without Pew, you probably wouldn't see open world. Like
that's true.
So
I don't know about that.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Pew. So glad that you were here, and we'll get into a bit of housekeeping before we get into the topics. First off, don't forget NADL. We're all a part of NAADL. Merrick.
Delusional elitist.
Delusional elitist. Merrick is the leader of NADL, so feel free to. Somebody can probably do. Is it like !DL in?
There it is. It's there.
Yep, there you go. Check it out. It is a wonderful guild, and we are doing all kinds of things. Some of them, including raid training, which is happening all throughout the week.
That's right.
We also have guild missions on Monday.
Tonight.
Tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Pang and Cat, apparently.
Yep, sassy cat.
The sassiest of cats.
The sassiest.
We also have a hero point train, a hot hero point train. So you can get all those really hard to get hero points at Monday 11 p.m. with Pet. And then Tuesday, we've got another raid training with Pang. And there are all kinds of other events that are happening throughout the week. Pretty much raid training is happening all throughout the week. But those are some of the like static events that you can see every single
I do look glowy.
So if
That's
you need
weird.
those hero points, if you need those guild missions, if you want to do raid training, you've got those for sure. And there's the NADL raffle. Check that out in the DL Discord. Put in a little bit of gold, win a lot of gold back, hopefully. Hopefully you've got some good RNG luck. But
There is a cap on it too, so no one can buy out the whole thing. I think
There you
you
go.
can only do like 20 or 40 gold or something like that. So it's good. It's good.
It's good and well run. All right, let's move on to some topics. And like we always start out with, we're going to start with some of the Guild Wars 2 events that are going on. And the main one and the only one that's really happening right now is Fractal Rush. So obviously we got the new Fractal that came out, which we'll talk about in a second.
Woo!
But Fractal
Big
Rush.
stuff.
Fractal Rush is basically an event where you do fractals with friends, with random people, and you gain a currency, and you can turn that in and kind of contribute to a community building goal, kind of like how other MMOs do it, like ESO, and I think WoW's done occasional stuff like that. And builds towards a big community goal, and then there'll be I don't know, what are the rewards at the end, Pew? Do you remember what the rewards are?
I have no idea. I'm gonna assume it's a lot of like those bonus boxes that they did in the other rushes.
Okay.
I'm not sure though.
Great things. Yeah,
Loot.
probably a
Just
bunch
good
of
loot.
loot. Yeah, like that's what happened last time. I remember I went to. I think everyone thought it was supposed to happen, and we didn't like get our
Bonus
stuff.
boxes.
And then Knock PM to me was like, go to Lion's Arch. And as soon as I zoned into Lion's Arch, I got like all those 50 boxes of Guild Wars 2 loot.
Yep, it looks like it's going to be bonus boxes, and it starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So,
Nice.
check that out. Go out there and get some fractals in. Now's the time to do it with the new fractal coming out, or new fractal out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Exciting, dude. It's exciting stuff. I think Guild Wars 2 players like new content, right? New content is cool.
Also, our giveaway is up.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna be doing a giveaway for the entirety of this thing. We have two things to give away, guys. We're giving away a Winter's Heart Infusion. That's almost 600 gold. It's extreme. It's the last big thing left we have to give. It's the big prize we've been holding on to for Coffee Break. So if you have not already, type !enter or rigged to get in that giveaway. At the end of the stream though, and this is what I'm hoping that we've attracted at least a couple of people who are new to Guild Wars 2, who want to talk about the MMO in general. Maybe you're thinking about buying the expansions, committing to this awesome game. And for that reason, thanks to our amazing friend Flute Girl, who I see is in the chat right now, lurking. Flute Girl has donated a copy of the Path to Fire expansion for us to give away as well at the end. So if anybody does not have that already, is considering it, stay tuned, don't leave. Thanks to Flute Girl, we actually have that expansion to give away for free. So big stuff, big stuff.
Nice. There you go. There you go, guys. Get in on both of those. I know I want that heart, so Merrick's gonna rig it for me. Don't worry.
do I get to enter too? I want to enter. Or can I enter?
If you won, that would be really rigged. But yeah, let's get into our first topic here. Let's try to make.
Oh, I think it let me enter.
Here. Let's talk about the new Fractal.
Woo!
Everybody, I think we have all had the chance to play it. I know I've done the CM and done the T4, the CM, and Pew. I assume you've done it a million times, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all three have the title, right?
I do not have the title.
What?
You don't have the title?
What?
Alright, we're doing it later.
Okay. Yeah. After stream, you got to carry Cryptic to victory.
Yes, I do need to be carried at Fractal. No, I had a lot of fun doing it. I believe it's what the new Fractal's called. Is it Sunqua Peak or something like that? Am I pronouncing that right? Yep.
I was gonna leave it to Pew to be like, no, it's Sunqua Peak, or I don't know. I didn't do a lot of Guild Wars 1. In fact, maybe we could talk a little bit about this. Like, I want everyone to see sort of like my experience when the Fractal came out and when the expansion was mentioned, right? Like, everyone's really excited about the stuff for Kantha. This obviously has like a Kantha influence to it, which is really awesome. But I remember, like, the day that all this was announced, I came on stream. I was like, let's talk about it, right? A lot of people are going to be very excited to talk about it. It's really hype stuff. And I tried to be as hype as I can be about new content in Guild Wars 2, right? Like, a new Fractal is great. That's enough to be excited about, period. It was a CM. That is enormous. That's huge stuff. And then Kantha confirmed and all that. But I then went and watched other streamers. I watched another streamer who watched the trailer and saw Sunqua Peaks and everything and lost her freaking mind because she knew the story references, the lore, caliber that was being brought out here, the characters that were being mentioned and talked about in the thing, and even the areas, Sunqua Peaks. Sunqua, I guess, is a region that people have visited. I didn't know any of this stuff, so my experience was very different to another person who played Guild Wars 1, who literally, another streamer, like I said, lost her mind. She was so excited. She was screaming. I was like, man, I wish I knew all this stuff. That's so cool. So I only looked at it as a sort of mechanical addition. Pew, Cryptic, did you guys know more about this? Have you played Guild Wars 1? Do you know this area?
I have never played Guild Wars 1, so I know some of the lore because I read
Burrito,
up
yeah, it was
on
peachy.
the game,
It
but
was, dude.
not that Fractal specifically. So I was more hyped on 1, we got a new Fractal that's been like way overdue, but 2, it had a CM and it was badass. But yeah, nothing about the lore. I had no idea about it. I just thought it was something cool and new because I don't know anything about Kantha. So,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm also in a similar boat. I've kind of read up on the, and obviously WP's videos is where most of my Guild Wars like
Wooden
lore comes from.
Potatoes.
Yeah, he's
Love that,
fantastic.
man.
Check him out. Obviously, shout out to Wooden Potatoes.
For real.
But yeah, his videos are and wikis and stuff is where a lot of my Guild Wars 1 knowledge comes from, and most of it's Kantha centered, funny enough. But I didn't know anything about Sunqua Peak or the lore behind it. So that's something I'm gonna have to look into. But I still, like, regardless, which I think is the mark of like good design, I still really enjoyed playing it. So
right, that you didn't need to know, right?
Yes.
The previous stuff. I didn't even know, dude. It was interesting because we started that. We started like a Guild Wars 1 playthrough where we'd go back and try to experiment with some of the stuff from Kantha. By the time the Kantha expansion comes out, I'd like to be well versed. I would like to have completed Kantha in Guild Wars 1 just so I kind of know. We didn't get very far yet, but in the very first day of playing in Kantha, we ended up in Sunqua something. Sunqua Mountain, Sunqua Valley, something like that. I was like, wow, this really is directly connected. So it's very cool. It's pretty exciting.
it made me want to learn more about the lore. So that's really good.
Yeah, and like you said, I think that speaks to the game's really good design that they can tell a story or add new content that people are very excited about, do not need to know anything about it beforehand to have a good time, but maybe are inspired then to go and want to learn more about it later. And it's funny that you brought up Guild Wars 2, Wooden Potatoes and his impact on Guild Wars 2 with the lore, because I would never have played Guild Wars 2, period, if not for Wooden Potatoes. And this is one of the big design problems that I have when people come out with a game called Something 2, right? If you come out with Something 2, there's a concern that I'm like, well, I didn't play Something 1. You know, maybe I am going to miss out. I'm not going to be able to enjoy this like someone else. And if you call it 2, to me, that means it's a direct sequel that I'm now missing out on information for. And so since I was really hyped about the game and it looked great mechanically, thematically, I loved it. But, you know, they even started off being like, this is 500 years after the events of Guild Wars 1's, whatever. I was like, okay, that alone makes me skeptical. But Wooden Potatoes, knowing that was true and seeing this enormous influx of people, right, coming to the game that didn't play Guild Wars 1, started that lore. Did you guys watch his lore series when he came up with that?
Most of it, yeah.
Oh my God. I loved them. The music, the sort of artistry that he put into it, the storytelling. He's very like, you know, I am a good sounding British guy with an almost ASMR video vibe. Like, yeah, it was so chill, right? These videos, I just ate them up. And by the time I was done, I was like, now I feel good. Like, now I feel comfortable going into Guild Wars 2. So Guild Wars 2 has always done it well, right? Like, there's Easter eggs for you to appreciate if you play Guild Wars 1. And there's incentive to go back and maybe explore it. But even if you know nothing about it, it's still an awesome world on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we're going to get a lot more of that, and a lot more people trying to, they're going to need those resources and be looking at this stuff when the expansion comes out. But before we get on to like that kind of stuff, since most of us here are like more mechanical, let's maybe talk about how we felt the actual Fractal went in general. I mean, obviously, we've got let's talk about the non-CM first. For people that haven't done the non-CM, you've got your 3 introductory mechanic bosses, like they've been doing in a lot of the new content. Mm-hmm. They kind of like grab some of those ideas from raids and strikes and then put it into this Fractal. And there's a lot of new mechanics, a lot of new interesting mechanics. And then of course we've got the final boss, which is a kind of a combination of them all with a little bit of flavor. How did you guys think some of those mechanics played out? Like the big one that is for me is the like jumping up to catch the storm clouds.
Yeah,
that was very interesting. I definitely liked it. I would be concerned. I would be a little more concerned if they like upped the pacing of that, because I feel like it's not a normal, like Guild Wars 2 does jumping so well, and it wasn't a jump. It's this like mechanical leap thing that didn't feel as free of movement as we're used to in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I feel like that Fractal in general kind of reminds me of Veil Guardian, when you kind of like do like 3 mini bosses to learn the mechanic and then fight like the whole thing. I feel like the jumping mechanic, when you get to the last boss, you only do that once, and I feel like that's it. That's all you got. See, like you did 1 mini boss and you do the mechanic for 1 tiny bit and then it's done. But then you have like something like the second mechanic where you have like the tether. That thing happened definitely more than once. Yeah, definitely more than once. I had to think about it. I also don't like that one. That mechanic where the tether thing. I think it there could be more gameplay with that, because there's a certain part in that fight where you just kind of like stand there with your group and you're like, here, give me the tether. All right, give me the tether. All right, your turn. And you do that for like 30 seconds. And it's like...
Well, it was easy for me to stand in a blob and not even know what was happening. You know, like other people are doing that, I guess. My experience with the new Fractal is streamed, right? Like a lot of people watch me do it, and this is one of the most exciting things about new content coming out. And I feel like as Guild Wars 2 players, we don't get this very often, right? But when a new big exciting thing comes out that's difficult, especially Fractals and raids, or a large-scale meta event, right, that might require some coordination, there's this very short window, and this is true in all MMOs, right? But it's like the most exciting time ever, where no one knows what's happening, and you actually have an opportunity to go in blind to figure it out with your group, right? And so I did it the first day that it came out, but it was like 8 o'clock at night that I did it. So I already knew like tons of people had done it already. But it was important to me to try to like capture that experience, which is so brief, right? I remember doing it in Wing 5. I remember doing it in Wing 6 and 7. And it's literally like a day before all that information is all over the internet. And even if you're going in a group with your guild to the place, somebody in the guild is like, no, I already looked it up. It's this way. You know, like somebody will spoil it for you, even if they're meaning well. So I got together a group of people that did not know what they were doing. We did not know what was going on. And it was an amazing experience, dude. Like, I haven't had something like that in Guild Wars 2, especially in a 5-man experience, right? Like I mentioned, Wings 5, 6, and 7, it's a big epic thing, but for 5-man content, 5 friends together trying to figure out something which was genuinely challenging, right? Like, I don't know about you guys. I felt like because we were so blind on it, even normal was challenging. We spent the whole night doing 100 normal, just sort of enjoying that process and sort of figuring things out little by little.
99 is now following,
which was really, really cool. And then we actually didn't get CM that first day. I had to go back to it the next day, really buckle down with people who now knew the regular mechanics, who were just keeping secret from me the final boss form, right, that comes out at the end. I legit lost my mind when that happened. I thought for like a brand new experience, new content for veteran players, walking into that was exciting, thrilling, awesome. I loved everything about it. And the last thing I wanted to touch on was that you liked the it sounded like you were both a little hesitant about the run around and get launched up and catch that orb thing. I actually really liked that, and it's true while you said that it's not like Guild Wars 2's regular jumping thing. It isn't the normal control you get from Guild Wars 2 jumping, but since I've been playing other MMOs recently, it has occurred to me that what makes Guild Wars 2 unique is not just its phenomenal jumping, right? And I think that everyone in this freaking chat can agree that no game in the history of games has done jumping better than Guild Wars 2, right? Like, go to another game and try to jump and then just commit immediate Sudoku. It's just the worst thing possible. It's awful. But in addition to that, what we're actually seeing in that is more along the lines of your falling mechanics, your falling control, because you have falling control in Guild Wars 2. You can guide where you fall a little bit, right? And that's sort of the amount of control that you have. But I was just doing this in WoW yesterday. We were playing World of Warcraft. I jumped off of my mount, and below me was another person on a mount that I was trying to land on, and you can't control your character. You were locked into a solid trajectory on your way down. And so, like, I hate that. I want that freedom. Guild Wars 2 has spoiled me. And I thought it was an interesting and different take on a group mechanic that everyone has to do. We have to run in opposite directions or like pick up those orbs. And I love the way that Pew and his group did it. They're like, pick up the orbs, but don't jump for that circle. Jump for the next circle. And so everyone was really coordinated with what they were doing. It was one of my favorite parts. I thought it was new and unique. And that, you know, for Guild Wars 2, that's amazing.
Yeah, I really liked all the mechanics that they put in there from just like a core conceptual thing. I felt like Pew said, I felt like a little more interaction throughout those mechanics could have really taken it from like this is a really good fractal to like this is an out of this world fractal, right? Like you talked about like this jumping mechanic, this leap mechanic that we have now. It's getting you to use your the falling, which is still a wonderful thing in Guild Wars 2, but there was nothing to really avoid when you fell, right? You just landed and then went on to the next thing. If there was something like that where you had to like land, be careful where you landed, or if there was something where it's like you can't just hit the special action button, you have to jump and land on a specific thing and then you get launched into the air. I feel like that interaction could have been a little more a little more tied in with your actual controls instead of it felt very one button to me. The mechanic overall
and still mess upable though, right?
Yeah,
because
still
every
mess
once in a while somebody
definitely.
misses the thing, and it's like there's almost no fixing that, right? You're like, oh god, that's gonna wipe everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought the fractal overall was really good, and I was also blindsided by Tiffy and Kat about we got through we did the CM and like we got through the first part like no problem, super easy, right? And I was like, oh, this is oh, we're done, it's over. Like she died, and I was like, it's over.
Well, and the biggest troll is that some of the mechanics in the first half are so CM adds a second half, but in CM some of the mechanics that are already present in normal in the first half are now different and a little bit a little bit harder, right, in the first half. So like all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is CM and it's pretty easy, and then we just beat it. And I was, it's actually devastatingly sad because it was clipped. My reaction when that first happened, it was clipped. But a copyrighted song had been requested and was played in the background right then. So that whole part was silenced, and then the clip was removed. So it's incredibly sad. It was such an epic moment. But I was literally out of my seat cheering that we just won finally. And then it wasn't. and then what happened, dude? It was an amazing experience. I mean, it was really good. It was awesome. It was exciting.
I was really happy that there was a mechanic, because like throughout the entire part, like the CM, and then even at the beginning of, like I'd say like the first 50% of the second thing, I was like, I'm understanding all these mechanics, I'm not having a problem. But there was one mechanic, I was so happy there was one mechanic that continually tripped me up, and I still didn't get it even to the end. It's like this wave of light that like I mean, it's happening throughout the entire fractal, but when she comes, she ports back to the center, and then she does this really like triple fast wave of light that comes in, and that one was always downing me. And
just not be in the middle is the rule there.
Well, I was backing up, I was trying to dodge, because we were the way the phasing was happening for us, we had to spread out at the same time that happened. So there was 4 people already spread out, and I had to kind of be in the middle, and I was trying to edge around them to get away from it and dodge it at the same time, and it would always get me. So I was happy that I was really happy that the CM like had curveballs to throw at me that, you know, really spiced it up. So. And it was a huge shock. Like you said, I was thought for sure, oh, it's over, it's done, we did it. She's dead, I don't have to worry about this. And then turns out, no, it's a whole nother phase.
One of the best parts was that we won, right? And nobody thought that we were gonna win. I think that poll, I was with Pew. I was actually with Pew and CAG and stuff. And so like we had got the win, and I didn't even realize, no one had told me, and I hadn't looked it up, what the achievement was to get the title or anything like that. Like, I didn't actually know what it was. And apparently it's that everyone has to survive to the end, right? Nobody goes down. So it's the very end, the boss is dead or like dying, basically, and Knock goes down. And do you remember this, Pew? And like, I'm like, well... Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna go res him. Like, we won. And so everyone starts freaking out. Go save him! Like, he almost died right at the end. We almost lost that title because Knock. I didn't know. I mean, you know, I figured you just reset. Knock is in the chat. But yeah, it was actually one of these hilarious moments, and I was like, oh, okay. And I ran over. We all resed, and then like the moment he resed, the fight was over, and we all got that title, which I didn't anticipate at all. And that was just, it added to the excitement. I mean, the whole thing was good. I really think that ANET knocked it out of the park. It's so easy when you have a community, and this is true, right? You guys hear me talk about how Guild Wars 2 is a great game, that the community in Guild Wars 2 is phenomenal, but there's also this feeling of some old jaded veteran players who are sitting around waiting for content all the time, and they're very grumpy, and they're very ready to make their displeasure known about the new content. So I get nervous for ANET anytime they come out with anything, because people are ravenous and they're ready to jump on them. But I think one of the things that we should acknowledge about this Fractal was its reception by the greater community, and I think that people were overall thrilled, right? I don't think I heard anyone say that it was bad.
Well, I'm actually curious, Pew, what do you think was the big difference between this Fractal and then the last release, Siren's Reef? Because those are 2 completely opposite reactions, right? Almost the entire community's happy with Sunqua Peak and how it turned out and the rewards around it and all that stuff. But Siren's Reef, people still hate passionately to this day.
Yeah, I still definitely hate it. I remember when it was released sometime last year. And we're like, oh my god, we finally get a new Fractal, because it's been like, before that Fractal, there was like a lot of months between it. So like, yeah, new Fractal, new hype. We didn't really care, I think, at that point that there wasn't going to be a CM, but we were just happy that there was a new Fractal, and so we did it. We're like, yeah, the theme is cool, it looks great, everything is awesome, and then you get to the final boss, and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, it was a mess, and we did it. I think the first night we did it, it was tier 4 probably, and since we didn't know what to do, oh my god, we spent probably like an hour and a half just at the last boss alone, because the mechanics for that boss it was just too much. So that fractal in general, I still hate it to this day, especially when you get really bad instabilities like Sugar Rush is bad when the mobs move really, really fast and you can't kill them in time and they're all on the ship. Weebly Fire is just bad in general. And then what's another bad one?
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't remember if Flux Bomb is an option. I can't remember an experience when Flux Bomb in Siren's Reef.
I don't know the instabilities that well.
Yeah, same.
But I think like that's a good example of like ArenaNet thinking chaos, like the difficulty of chaos equals enjoyment, right? And it's just the final fight is just like you said, far too chaotic. And I think it creates more frustration, like just in accomplishing the task than actually like than the sense of accomplishment after you've completed it relieves from that frustration, right? It doesn't balance out.
Yeah, you really hit upon something I think which is significant, which is that difficulty is not difficulty. It's not all the same thing. You can have something be difficult in a way that is enjoyable versus difficult in a way that is not enjoyable. I know that a lot of people enjoy the modern format for fractals with the instabilities and the like what kind of chaos that creates. Not even just the instabilities, like the end game fractals. If you do it's not 100 cm anymore, 99 cm. If you do 99 cm, somebody who's brand new to that looks at that fight and goes like, what the hell just happened? There's like 100 mechanics overlapping each other at the same exact time. It is utter chaos. Even for people who know that fight well and can maneuver those mechanics well, even you feel like it's very hectic, right? It's definitely a hectic experience for you to do. I've often told people that for your individual performance, like how fast and panicked you are pressing buttons on your keyboard and mouse. I don't know how else to explain this. 99 cm is more difficult or more panic inducing than any raid in the game. It just is like for what you're doing, all the things you're trying to manage at one given moment, it is more challenging. When you got 10 people and they're handling giant mechanics that are really scary, could wipe the whole group in a raid, it forms a different kind of difficulty. But I've always been hesitant with the whole fractal instability thing. I believe that it does what it's trying to accomplish, which is like create variety, but oftentimes it creates a smeary mess of chaos shenanigans that I'm just like, well, yeah, this is hard, but it's just ridiculous and kind of annoying. Like I don't really feel like a badass having maneuvered it and succeeded sometimes. Sometimes I just feel annoyed. I might be in the minority on that, but that's been my experience with it.
No, I feel similarly. I think it's part of why I like started to avoid fractals. Like, if you get the wrong group, it becomes a chore and not an enjoyment, right? It's just like you're spending time thinking a lot about how to work through issues instead of like, you know, enjoying the challenge of it.
Yeah.
But
I think especially if you've experienced it like so often, and then you get into a group and it's not doing so well, I think you definitely will get like somewhat frustrated. It's kind of like, you know, just like going into a raid, but it's not like a training raid, but it's like, you know, just like a normal raid with friends, but you can't get like a certain mechanic down. It can get a little frustrating. I feel like that can be translated the same fractals as well.
Yeah, I would love to explore that a little bit. There's a lot of talk about raids in Guild Wars 2 being toxic or being hard to get into. This is something that on my channel I talk about a lot, right? I'm always trying to help people sort of maneuver that to get into raids. I'd love for them to be able to not have a negative experience when they get into raids and sort of mitigate the toxicity, or what I would prefer to call maybe elitism, right? People saying, maybe not being overtly toxic to you all the time, but saying you're not good enough, you can't be here. Do you feel like fractals have that same vibe in that same way? Are they just as bad? I don't do fractals enough to know, and anytime that I do T4 fractals and CMs, it's usually with friends, right? Like, do you guys do any fractal training or fractal pugs or whatever and find that it's just as bad out there for fractals?
I've never done training for fractal pugs, but I've seen other guildies when they go live on Discord and they're trying to train people. I think there's definitely like this weird big gap of inexperienced players. For example, like if you do like any tier 3, Pug Fractal. Oh my god, everything just doesn't work out because it's like that weird middle ground between people who are better or good enough to go past tier 1, but they haven't experienced the new mechanics that tier 3 is almost the same as tier 4. Most of the mechanics are the same, but they just aren't there to hit tier 4. And then you get this weird tier 3 gap where nobody knows what they're doing, and you have to have like some kind of knowledge and experience of the fractal to pass it. And I remember a guildie was trying to teach them, and they just got so frustrated. It just didn't work out.
That's so interesting to me. You feel like it's worse in tier 3 than in tier 4. The tier 4 somehow has gotten people that are better or more experienced through the mechanics, and so it's more consistent in tier 4. And tier 3 is like a weird stretching point that's not quite there.
Yeah, I think definitely in tier 4 there's this expectation that because it's like the highest tier, I think a lot of people know that you have to be somewhat experienced and you have to know the mechanics to get there. Because if you look in like LFG, you're always gonna see like, actually I don't know what it is now, but now that there's no like kill proof, I don't know what people use for kill proof nowadays, but you would generally always see like, oh, you gotta have like this many of the cosmic essence and have this build, this trait, or not trait. You have to have like a heal brand, a lacquer gate, blah 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 blah, etc. etc. And I think definitely tier 4 has a lot more experienced players in general. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. I definitely want to shout out our good friend One Sassy Cat in the chat that just mentioned that right now. Last week, Sassy and Nuzzlebutt and Bulby and Pang and a bunch of, I was even supposed to be in on this, but it was for charity. They sat down and did every single fractal scale from 1 to 100 in a single sitting. I mean, I think they got up to go to McDonald's once. I don't know, but it was one stream. They did every single fractal, so it was interesting for me to see because I haven't done fractals in a long time. I was like, oh, that early stuff is super easy, but it took back me up on this, Sassy Cat, like double the length of time that he had planned to do this in. Like it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of content. It's a lot of work. Even the lower level fractals takes time. Sassy said that after doing all 100 fractals in a row, can safely say that Siren's Reef is a bit too much compared to the others. And see, again, challenging maybe, hard, annoying, I think is probably the word that most people would bring up, that it is not like, oh, we beat it. It's not that at all the same thing as doing old 100 CM, right? Which was super challenging, very hard, but like the moment you beat that, you're cheering, right? I mean, it's an exciting experience to beat. But I didn't get that with Siren's Reef, and certainly I was a little disappointed personally with what was the one before that? What was it called? The Deepstone?
Siren's Reef? Oh yeah, Deepstone.
Deepstone, yeah.
So Deepstone, I loved thematically. I loved the idea. I loved the area, the world design that was in there, the characters that were there, the idea behind it, how it looked was really cool. But it didn't pan out. I didn't have as much fun with that fractal either. It just didn't end up being as fun. I don't have as much fun. The final boss in that, I could see they went as hard as they could with trying to make the mechanics like a big thing. But again, it's just annoying, and I'm trying to get through it quickly. You know, I get the experience in 99, and even to a lesser extent 98, that I do in a raid, where like I'm buckling down, taking it seriously, can't wait to try to do this well, perform, and get that win. And those are the only fractals I have that feeling in. I never just want to do any other fractals.
I think the reward and the challenge just aren't there with the other ones. Like they don't really line up. Because like you know what you're doing isn't necessarily, especially with the other ones, isn't necessarily that challenging. It's just like an annoyance factor to overcome, and there isn't a high enough reward to overcome that, and the challenge isn't there. So you like neither side of the spectrum do you feel like this is something content you want to tackle. But on that note, since we were talking about how good the fractal is, do you one thing that I think we all really like is the rewards that have been tied in with the CM, right? And then we also have the raid CM rewards now.
Ooh.
And one more thing that they feel like they've really hit the nail on the head with in the fractal CM, the pre-bosses just die. You don't have to worry about them, right? You can just skip them.
Yes. which is amazing, by the way. Thank you, ANET. If ANET is out there, that was a dream, dude. That was a big surprise for me.
But I think like we're seeing ANET put a new focus on CMs and making them repeatable and making the rewards behind them like really tangible and interesting. Like those skins are absolutely awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how do you guys feel about it? Do you want to see this continue? Do you want to see this continue not only with fractals but with
everything
raids and then maybe strikes as well, right? Like
I'll take everything, dude. Let's boil this down. Let's boil this down to what it really is. We're talking about difficulty settings, right? And I want not only them to do this but to expand on it. Guild Wars 2, and again, this is something we touch on a lot on the stream, is that Guild Wars 2 has a very casual player base, and what we're trying to do is harmonize between, and there's nothing wrong with that. Guild Wars 2 is a great casual game. This is the game that you can come in and you can play it an hour a day, in 2 hours every other day, whatever, and as long as you keep playing, keep trying, keep doing your thing, you will accomplish every goal that you want. You'll get everything you want out of it. And if you stop playing for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and come back, you'll be ready to play with your friends tomorrow if you want to. Like, we haven't out-leveled you. We haven't left you behind in gear or anything like that. So Guild Wars 2 is designed to be that way. But, and for that reason, like, I'm happy. Like, the people who play that casually, that's great. But they're trying to coexist with a hardcore contingent of people who want challenge, who want repeatability, who want reward for time invested, you know, or skill put in, and they're trying to make these things harmonize. It's not always easy, and one of the best ways to accomplish this is difficulty settings, and we've seen it. I mean, they touched on it in the beginning, right? Story mode for dungeons, right? We're comfortable with that. We've seen that from the beginning. Story mode was what was supposed to be there for the dungeon itself, as you were going through the story and getting to experience that content. It wasn't supposed to be really challenging. It wasn't supposed to lock you out. It's an easier version of the dungeon that gives you that story. If we saw story mode raids, or, you know, or multi-tier difficulty in all the content that we can get in, where you could just get a slightly bigger reward if you want to put that challenge in, I think that's like literally designed perfectly for Guild Wars 2. I truly do. Also, huge shout out to the raid we just got. Who was that? Was that
Loranity? I'm probably butchering that.
Loranity? Yeah, yes, it's Loranity. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, guys. She's an amazing streamer. I have checked her stream out. I really appreciate her stopping by. Everyone who just joined us, thank you very much. This is Coffee Break. It is an MMO podcast. We have a couple of times a month where we just sort of discuss the game Guild Wars 2 in general, MMOs and how they've evolved, if they're getting better, worse, new content, pros and cons, things we'd like to see, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for joining. Today, we have Pewrecky, known to us more commonly as Pew, the Pewster, Pewmeister, Pew, the myth, the legend, Pew.
Stop.
He's a content creator for Guild Wars 2 as well, though you may not see him in stream. What you were definitely going to be comfortable seeing his work in very soon is the website that he recently made for Guild Wars 2. I'm sure you guys have seen pewresearchcenter.com, and if you haven't already, we're going to talk about that pretty soon, so we won't delve into it right now, but that's Pew. He's the man. And sorry, we'll segue back in. Go ahead Pew.
No, those were all great points. Thank you again for the raid. Big fan of CMaj. But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. Difficulty settings has definitely got to be something that they add to more content. But I think they've like tried to build it into like the structure of content tiers in general. But I think you hit the nail on the head. It needs to be built into the content itself, and not saying that, okay, raids is hard content. It just make raids for everybody and have the difficulty be part of that content, and not trying to separate the content out into different tiers. So, and I think that's the way they're going, and I love it. It makes me like all the more excited for the expansion.
Yeah, don't you feel like they've learned some lessons after like between POF and Cantha, that it's going to be really exciting to see how they implement those lessons learned, you know? Like I'm incredibly excited for what could be going forward.
I just realized I think our expansion is going to be EOD, End of Dragons, right? So we're going to be calling it EOD.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Got Hot, Poff, and Odd.
And Eod. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's segue on to very ungracefully. We'll segue on to some open world stuff. Yeah, let's talk about some open world stuff.
What's that?
I know. It's.
Are you trying to tell me that there's a land outside of the Lion's Arch Aerodrome? No.
I know it's scary.
What?
I know it's a dangerous place, and it's not something to tread lightly. But thankfully, we have a guide here that is going to show us and tell us.
Thank you,
lead us
Lorenity.
through all the difficulty. Wonderful Pew.
Enjoy your food.
And you're gonna help us through. You're gonna help us through the absolute terror, which is open world that everybody else is so comfortable in, but us raiders are scared to go out there. And I think we'll lead off with. How much do you love Dragonstand, and why is it your favorite map?
We're starting off terribly. No, I hate Dragonstand. No.
It's a meme that Pew hates Dragonstand. Like we've all known this for a long time. He hates it. He won't do it.
So that map, like in general, it's a really great map, especially for like the first few times you do it, or the first time you do it. Amazing map. But then after a few times, when you find out that you actually have to do it for like legendaries and stuff, if you chose to do the Heart of Thorns route, it's not that fun anymore. And then you do it like multiple times, and it's just not great.
So you don't dislike the map itself. You hate the fact that you're not just incentivized but required to have to do it on repeat all the time in order to accomplish the bigger goals in the game, like legendaries.
Yeah, sometimes if you choose the Heart of Thorns route, you have to do it like a couple times so you can get those like crystalline ore. But I also
actually
don't
the
like
Path of Fire
because...
too, right?
Yeah,
If
you can do Path of Fire too.
Well, no, I mean, if you don't want to deal with like hearts and like you know better than I do, but if you don't want to deal with hearts and stuff like that, like other ways to get funerary incenses or whatever, you have to do Dragonstand for crystalline ore, right? Because that's the only other way to get funerary incense.
Yeah, well, no, really terribly. There's a time lock on a time gate on how you can even do that. So really no. If you're gonna do crystalline or just do, I mean, just do HOT. Like, listen, I can actually speak on this. My Sharur, my hammer that I just made, I for the first time ever was like, oh, dude, I've done, I don't know, 3 or 4 HOT paths through legendary crafting. This time I'm going to do POF, and it's got to be big brain because since I've never done it, I must have a backlog of resources for days, right? Like all of my HOT resources are gone from doing the previous legendaries, but I'll do it this time in POF and it's going to be easy. It is not easy. It's like it's way harder. It's way more time gated. So like, yeah, if I ever do any more legendaries in my life, they're 100% going to be HOT. The problem is that while Dragonstand is a huge pain in the butt, it's farmable. There's nothing to stop you from just farming that thing, right? Like do it over and over again every time it's up, and then harvest what you need. Everything about the funerary incense is terribly time gated, and so life is miserable. So you really are incentivized to go the HOT route and have to do Dragonstand a bajillion times.
Yeah, definitely.
And not to mention, if you do like Path of Fire, you have to get like if you don't play Path of Fire that often, you have to get like elegy mosaics, which you only can get through the POF metas and the legendary bounties. And so if you really haven't done POF content at all, like you're gonna be spending hours and hours doing those metas again, and then the legendary bounties again, and those aren't the most fun.
Yeah.
CV Dazzle says, I don't think it's so much an issue with the map or meta, but the reward structure in regards to legendaries. That said, Dragonstand is definitely on the upper end of what I think is acceptable for a meta duration. I can totally see why you would start to resent it while farming.
I mean, that's true, right? In order to do it, like, it's a time commitment. It's a huge investment to do that over and over again. You're like, oh, I'm working on a legendary. I'm going to spend, over the course of that legendary, I'm going to spend 10, 20, 30 hours, I don't know, in Dragonstand. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's daunting. So even if content is great, you have to do it over and over again. You'll eventually hate it. I know that's weird coming from a guy who does the same raids every day of my life, but
not even raids. Spirit Run. Remember when it was Spirit Run every day?
Every day. I for some reason do Spirit Run more than I do anything else. Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Yeah. But onto a more favorable topic for Pew. What would be your favorite open world map? What are you enjoying the most?
See, that's a really hard question because every time somebody asks me that, I'm always like, oh, I love this map. Oh, I love this map. I love this map. Somebody actually commented to me the other day and was like, you like every map, Pew. Like, what the hell? And I'm like, I like a lot of maps for different reasons. So like, for example, a map that I really like commanding, but I also hate at the same time is Drizzlewood. I really like doing Drizzlewood, at least mostly the southern part of the map. I think commanding in that is really fun. It's really fast paced, and you get a lot of loot. And then you get to the north part, and it's really cool, but it's also kind of slow in a way, and it's okay. Um, and then you have like maps like a really fun map that I like to do a train in is like Tangle Depths. You don't see, I don't think I've ever seen Commander yet that has done like a full on Tangle Depths train. Like you're gonna see a crap ton of meta trains. You're always gonna see people doing that for meta. But I haven't seen a good commander that does like a full on like either an hour and a half or 2 hours of Tangle Depths, where you do like all of the outpost events and all of the random events in between. Especially when you do it for like shiny baubles, 'cause you can get a lot of loot out of it. It's just one, nobody likes that map because it's super complicated, and two, it's very the events themselves to like get them efficiently is kind of hectic. But it's a really fun map. It's very unique once you really get to know that map. It's very, very well designed, even though it doesn't look like it to a lot of people.
Yeah, to me, I get lost anytime I think about Tangle Depths. I could be in the grocery store and I think about Tangle Depths and I'm lost. I can't find my card. That is the worst for me, dude. I've done it so many times in my life, and it doesn't matter how many times I do it. I will instantly forget where to go, what to do. I follow Pew around, and that's basically it. If I lose Pew, so. If you guys have ever done meta events, I do. So I need him to drop little things on the floor because look, Pew is like an amazing commander because he leaves like the bread trail of Skittles, you know, like the Skittles crumbs as he goes. He drops all of the markers and all the random colors, so like I never get lost. I need that everywhere I go. 100% true. And when I did Grizzlewood, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Drizzlewood. When I did Drizzlewood, that was an interesting experience for me because the first time I did it, it was led by Pew as well. But it was harder for me because I couldn't just follow a dude with a commander tag and follow the Skittles everywhere I went. There's different objectives going on in different places, and everyone splits up and just accomplishes things. And it was a little bit more daunting. But I do love sort of the new activities that they're coming up with. Right, they're coming up with new things to do. I like their new level design. I love the trees and the atmosphere that they created in Drizzlewood. I thought that was really nice. It looked different from anywhere else, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the kind of like world v worldness of it in a PV open world, you know, kind of setting.
Yeah, it did feel world v world. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, it was definitely different, and definitely like, you know, it was just a nice, interesting refresh on open world. Not that I do that much of it, but like, you know, I've been on other pre-trains and stuff, and like I've made legendary, so I've had to do Dragon Stand and stuff like that. And you know, it just felt like a complete shift away from the normal open world, which I thought was really, really nice.
Yeah, what's so funny is when they came out with Ice Root Saga and they started it. Also, first Grothmar was pretty great. I like their metas there, except for the events in between are kind of meh. And then they came out with Biora, and I was like, oh yay, I'm awesome. I'm so excited. It's gonna be a new map. I get to explore. It's gonna be a new meta and everything like that. And then you do like, if anybody's been to Biora and did like the I always get my directions mixed up. East meta. Holy crap, it's a snooze fest. And I got super upset when that came out. I was like, oh no, this is what's coming in Iceberg Saga, and I'm like, no. And then Drizzlewood came out, and that got my hopes up a lot more because I think that map design itself for the events is very unique, and I think they did a really great job and headed to the right track.
So would you say like fast-paced, consistent events is one of the things that like makes a really good map for you? or like what are some of the criteria for like a good map for you? Like,
I wonder that as well. Is it more thematic and mechanical, or is it more efficiency based? Because you do a lot of efficiency oriented stuff. Is it fast paced and efficient that makes it a favorite of yours, or is it that it's more fun to actually do?
does it just have to drop shiny baubles?
Exactly.
Shiny baubles. We need more shiny baubles in the game. It's only like Heart of Thorns maps, and random core maps that nobody plays. So I definitely like a map that's very active. Like there's always an event, and then you do another event, and another event. I like having always something to do. I really hate just waiting and standing unless
Downtime,
you're
yeah.
planning for a big meta. Like say you're doing Auric Basin. If anybody's been in like my Auric Basin trains, like there's that 15-minute like pre-event phase where people usually start tagging up and go to each gate, and then they wait for that 15 minutes, and then there's that like tiny pre-event that happens. But if you join a my train, we do like a mini hero point train, we do a hero point train, and then we do like all those mini events to try to get like champions, and then when it's like 5 minutes before the meta, then we split and start planning. But yeah, I really like maps that always active, always something to do. I do like some that have like somewhat a mechanic base, and not just killing stuff all the time. Of course, I like that too because champions are nice, and I love champions. But at the same time, I do like events that have some kind of variety between different events. One can be just a Zerg Fest, and then the second one can be multiple champions that do like crazy stuff, and the third one could be, I don't know, just something a little different.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, awkward downtime is definitely an issue. I think I don't like that either. Sort of consistency of enjoyable things for me, and not getting sort of lost, overwhelmed, or bored, I guess, for open world stuff. It's a whole different world. It's a different world out there, man.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I go to these open world meta events, and I'm like, okay, I am like king of raider. This is gonna be so easy, and then I get like steamrolled by some stupid random mob, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is this dangerous? Why have I just died?
Lone pocket raptor knocks you off your mount.
Right?
Kills you instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for like a pocket raptor champion or boss.
Oh, that would be the best. That would be the best.
Oh no. That sounds very scary, Pew.
I mean, they like attempted it in Siren's Reef, but I mean, it was cute, but it's not. I need a boss or something.
Don't give A-Net ideas. No.
Please make it happen. Or we need more Choyas. We need like a Choya raid boss or something.
If there was a map, an open world map that was Choyas just dropping shiny baubles, would you ever leave it?
Oh yeah. Oh, I would never leave that map.
Oh, Merrick, I think the stream kind of went crazy.
Yeah, it was actually Junie's fault.
Junie.
What happened?
by reading the message that you sent me, I had to, like, their faces got rearranged.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Instantly fixed. It's okay. We got it.
Okay.
Yay, Pat.
You should probably send me private PMs in Twitch. That'd probably be the safer.
Oh, that would be smarter.
In case anyone wants to know what it was, Junie sent me a message and said, "I'm so tired. Would you like some coffee? I want some coffee." I said, yes, I do. I would love some coffee. It is coffee break after all,
yeah,
guys.
where's the coffee?
Yeah, where's the
Yeah, where'd you
mug
drink like
sponsor?
The
a water
Yeti mug?
bottle?
It's right here. I have it. It's just I would like a new coffee. This one is dead. This stream, by the way, is not sponsored by Yeti mug. But it could be, and it should be. It really should be. Zompyro, thanks for stopping by, bro.
Water Pew. It'll be coffee next time. Don't worry.
Nice.
Yeah. So we talked a bit about open world. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we like moved on to like Pew's website and stuff. Are there any, I guess maybe other than Dragon's Den, are there any maps that you would like A-Net to like go back and revamp? And if not, or if so, should they even like bother doing that? Should they just keep focusing on new content, keep pumping out the living world maps, the expansion that's coming out?
That's the age-old MMO question, isn't it? Every MMO in the game, or in the world, fights with exactly this. Eventually, they fight with this. Should we fix old bugs, redo old content, or should they keep pushing new things?
That's the secret, Merrick. Every MMO is secretly inside of Guild Wars 2.
In the game. Every MMO in this game.
See, that's rough, because as much as I want like some old maps to be revamped, I don't think it ever will. Like, for example, a really obvious one that clearly was not finished, and I know a lot of people who, if anybody has played around this time that this map was released, you know you were pretty disappointed if you were expecting like some kind of really great map. Like Korna, holy crap, that map is just terrible. That map is not finished. Like, there is a way to farm it, and but if you look at videos of people like map breaking, it's clearly not finished, because there's like a big fort at the bottom, and when you do the meta, all you do is literally kill a golem. You might as well be practicing your DPS rotation.
Yeah,
that's just the meta. You just kill a golem, and then you kill glass that's more tankier than a boss.
yeah.
And the other events are just kind of like lackluster. But yeah, something like that. Like, if they were to go and revamp that whole thing and made it actually like a legit like meta map, that would be badass. But that's never gonna happen, because I'm sure that's a lot of time and resources
that they don't have, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they said somewhere that people prefer more new shiny stuff
than fixing old stuff.
Yeah.
I think most communities in most games feel that way. As we mentioned a moment ago, I think every older MMO struggles with exactly this, and they almost always make this decision, right? To make new content instead of go back, fix old things, polish up old things. It's pretty rare that they do that. Also, I want to take a moment to thank Mighty freaking Teapot, dude. Giant raid we just got there. What, 300 people? Mighty Teapot, the man, the myth, the legend, needs no introduction from me. Thank you guys for coming. This is Coffee Break. It is the MMO podcast we do a couple times a month. We try to talk about MMOs in general, Guild Wars 2, where the game is headed, new content, what we think about what's coming out, what we'd like to see, all this kind of stuff. So if you have any questions about it, make sure to type them out. Junie is going to be sitting next to me in a moment. She's actually going getting coffee right now, but she fields the questions that the chat has. We'll pass them over to us. Remember, we are giving away Winter's Heart Infusion when we're getting nearer to the end of this stream. It's like 600 gold. Great item to get, so try to get in there as well. Following that, at the very end, I'm hoping that during the course of this awesome discussion that we have about Guild Wars 2, that there are people that might be new to the game that have been thinking about sort of committing and wanting to play Guild Wars 2, this phenomenal game that sort of connects us all. If you are on the fence about it, we are going to be giving away a copy of the Path of Fire expansion at the end. So if you don't have that yet, if you're new to Guild Wars 2 and you've been thinking about it, that's going to be a free copy given away after we do the Winter's Heart Infusion. So my hope is that only people that don't have it will enter, and that somebody brand new who does not have that expansion will get more involved with Guild Wars 2.
And does that get you? I think that gets you Heart of Thorns in the base game too, right? So
it should. Yeah, I think that's all. That's all
to go.
So joining us today is our special guest Pewrecki, also known as Pew, the Pew, Pepe Le Pew, the Pew Research Center. This dude,
ultimate open world master.
The ultimate open world ninja master. Yeah, so basically you guys may not know him by face, may not even know him by name, but we're going to talk about his website in just a moment, which everyone should know. And if you don't already, Pew Research Center is making waves, dude. Like, everybody who's involved in open world content, open world efficiency, farming gold, all of the communities that are into that kind of stuff, of which it is huge. Can I just say, I had no idea, dude. Like, I run in the raiding circles. I know the raiding guilds. I know the raid badasses, right? Like, I raid all the time. Apparently, there's a whole world of this stuff out there. And in that world, Pew is the Snowcrows, okay? Guys, so make sure, we'll talk about this in a minute, but that's who this guy is. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's been linked in chat. Be sure to check it out. It's pewresearchcenter.com. We'll talk about it more in a second. Also, feel free to get your questions in. I can see chat there as well.
Nice.
But to hit back on the revamping maps, obviously it's something they're probably not going to do, and it's probably, you know, like you guys said, it's something they probably shouldn't do. But a map that I would love to be revamped if I could have a wish list would be Dry Top. I hate whenever I have to go to Dry Top.
Oh,
that's a good example. Ooh, that was good.
It's just like, I don't even know why I don't, every time I go there, I'm like, why am I here? Why do I need to be here? It's an exercise in frustration. None of the events are fun and enjoyable. And like none of them seem to have a point. They don't seem to be building towards anything. The sandstorm is something that's completely out of your control. You're not working towards anything. You're just trying to hide from a storm or something.
Well, even the actual story, right? Like there have been chunks of Living World story that are so phenomenal that I would tell somebody like, don't skip it. You have to go buy that. I know it sucks that you have to buy it, but you must go buy it, right? Like go and experience this. But then there's chunks of the Living World story that are forgive the joke, very dry. Okay, and the Dry Top, that whole thing is just so like, I don't know, I don't care. I tell people they can skip it, you know, like, and it sucks to tell people that. Guild Wars 2 is incredibly unique in terms of MMOs, in which it has a very cohesive linear story. Like there's no getting lost in the story in Guild Wars 2. Follow the straight line path, and as long as you don't deviate and you keep going, you'll eventually have done everything, caught up, and be good to go. There are games that is not the case. World of Warcraft is not like that. Elder Scrolls Online, not like that. Completely different. So for there to be like big chunks of story that wasn't great in a zone that isn't awesome and that everybody sort of groans, like I hate telling a new player that asks, oh, what's next? And I'm like, it's this chunk of time that's not so great. And there's a couple, and Dry Top is one of them.
Not enough champions.
Not enough champions. I mean, that's a fact, right? If they dropped a few extra really big, intense champion fights in there, would that be more fun? Yeah, it would be.
But that's my dream, ANET, if you're listening. ANET Ben, fix Dry Top.
Darkbringer, where's Darkbringer?
But yeah, I mean, we've talked a bit about like open world and what we think makes like a good open world map and stuff. Do you like? I guess we could talk a little bit about the new expansion before we get on to Pew's website. What in your mind, Pew, is needed for like the continuation of like it seems like to me that you think that a lot of the stuff that's been coming out, especially like Drizzlewood and stuff, is taking open world in the right direction. What needs to continue? What does ANET need to continue with that in order to continue to take open world in the right direction for the expansion? And what else for the expansion are you like looking forward to?
In terms of maps and farming, I definitely think so. Drizzlewood's definitely in the right path, but I think a lot of people can contest to this that Drizzlewood just takes too long. Like for when they first released Drizzlewood, they just released the southern part of it, and it was like almost perfect. It was great. And then they added the north, which I thought was gonna be like a second map, because I never would have thought an hour and a half meta would be extended to another like hour, and it did. So I think any future maps, I think definitely with the theme of like Drizzlewood and how their events work, I think it can be applied to the new maps. Just don't make it 2 hours long anymore. I think a lot of people are getting kind of sick of it, because before Drizzlewood we had Dragonfall, which also takes a long time. It can be a little shorter, but it is somewhere around an hour and a half to 2 hours. And you have to have like a really efficient commander. So for the new maps, for the expansion, I would really like a mix of what Heart of Thorns brought, where the metas are very, very team oriented and map wide. Same time, have just a little bit of the southern Drizzlewood event aspects, where people have to complete like a series of events to progress the map to get towards the meta, or something like that. But I would also like some maps that are pretty chill, that may have like a map-wide meta, but the events don't have to be like as serious, so to say. Like somebody noticed, like Knight, what he said, like more Living Story 3 map trains. Story 3 is like super chill. Like there's no
it is
serious meta, and that kind of like kind of theme, it would be kind of nice in at least like one map of whatever the new maps are going to be, or something like that.
Hmm.
So do you have like a feature you're really dying to see in the new expansion? It doesn't have to be open world related.
That's a big one.
Elite specs is always gonna be my number one.
Yeah, can we just have 4 new elite specs for every class, please? I can forego the entire expansion. Could you just give me 4 new elite specs for every new class? I would spend $60 on that in a heartbeat. That would be enough for me.
Merrick just wants an elite spec expansion.
I do.
Like every year, give him 2 new elite specs or something. And
I will spend $60 on it every year. I will. I'm easy. No doubt. That's content.
I'm down for that.
Quality. This is
elite
quality
spec.
content.
That's quality armor. That's quality armor is what that is.
What if the elite spec is just a quality armor like vendor or something?
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I need like a 2-handed LE. I don't know what it would be. Maybe like longbow or a greatsword.
Greatsword Ellie.
I don't think they'll do greatsword because there's already that.
Everything wants greatsword, guys. Everything
Greatsword
ever wants
Rev.
greatsword.
Greatsword Rev. It's
Like they might as well just make greatsword for everything because everyone wants it. Everybody wants that greatsword. Rifle Ellie, that would be intense. That would be intense.
Just
would
something
that
two-handed.
I don't know how rifle Ellie would work. That would be interesting. Would definitely open up like a whole new side of rifle fashion wars for Ellie's, like all those aqua rifles and stuff.
Right, the ones that you would never see on anything, right? I mean, what? So let's be honest. Let's talk about it. If you're gonna use a rifle, there's several things. There's 3 things in the game, right? You can use it as a Deadeye. You can use it as a warrior. You can use it as an engineer. And there's so many skins that you're just never gonna use. I mean, like everybody sort of rolls their eyes at the pistol skins and the rifle skins. Even among the classes I listed, those are very rarely seen. Those are very, very rarely seen. It would be nice.
Definitely, it would definitely be nice.
Yeah.
I'm obviously campaigning for as we talked about last coffee break, like player-owned housing.
Oh, you stole my thing, dude. That's what I want. Player-owned housing.
Yeah, player-owned housing and NPC companions. I think like let's bring it back to like the Guild Wars 1 NPC companions, and then let's give us player-owned housing. And I think like that would make ArenaNet so much money.
Let's expand on that, okay? Like lots and lots of MMOs try to do some form of player housing. 90% of them do it badly, right? But it is such a great idea. It depends on who your audience is. In World of Warcraft, do you think people really care about player housing? No. They're playing that game because they're doing things competitively, mechanically. It's not so much, and the graphics themselves don't really lend itself to like, let's design a coffee table that goes great with my, it's like, no, that's not what you're getting in World of Warcraft. But in Elder Scrolls Online and in Guild Wars 2, I feel like the community is the perfect community for player housing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is literally the community that would be not only excited for this, but would spend gems on it, dude. Like people would be thrilled to see a new. And look, any of you guys play ESO? You see it all the time. The next they have a gem store as well in their game, and it's Crown Store. And when the next month's Crown showcase comes out, that's showing. First of all, I really like that. By the way, they show you the whole month of what's going to come out and when it's going to come out in that month. But you get excited for the outfits or the skins or whatever. But in addition to all that, is like, oh crap, they're coming out with the new house, or there's a whole furnishings pack, right? Or Halloween comes out and there's like Halloween decorations for inside your house, and people get really, really into it. And I feel like we are so robbed as the kind of community that Guild Wars 2 is, that would just be thrilled to do that and to spend money on. I feel like it's the next way for them to fund their next expansion, guys. Like, do you think people wouldn't buy this? I would buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't need tons of instances right now. There's already a bunch of instances with the current ones that they could open up to everyone, and then just add a few more, right? Add like one in Heart of Thorns, add one in like, Path of Fire, add one in like the new expansion, and there you go. You've got like, if you open up the current player like places and actually put a house in there for each one of the like the personal story instances, and made that available to everybody. So you just have to purchase it, and then added one for each of the expansions. You would have, you know, so many, like what, 5, 6, it'd be like 9. That'd be like 9 instances available for people. And you know, they have so many. It would
be a start. That'd be a start.
Yeah, it'd be a good start, and they can add more. You know, it's when they see the money that they're getting from this, they're going to want to add more. They're going to add, you know, a raid one, a fractal one. We could finally have something in the aerodrome that isn't isn't just boxes.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's its whole own podcast. Okay, why the freaking aerodrome has not been fixed yet in the 5 or 6 years or whatever. Ridiculous. But
that's why, because they're building their dream house right next to the aerodrome. That's the reason why.
But honestly, like, they could make versions of housing that serve sort of like the specialty areas do that we have to buy in Guild Wars 2, right? And you can make the first time that anybody really realized, because I think a lot of MMO players just skipped the games that player housing was done really well in, right? Like if you haven't played EverQuest 2 or Rift or Final Fantasy 14 or Elder Scrolls, if you haven't played those to any great extent, you've missed out on what player housing can be. So I think Guild Wars 2 players would just be shocked at the idea that they could decorate their own house, make everything look really cool, maybe put something in that is, I love this about EverQuest 2's thing, is that there were practical things you could put in there as well. Like you could put in a portal to the mists in your house, and then you could not have to go somewhere else and go to your own house to do that, or crafting stations in your house, or even just mount the legendary weapons that you've crafted on the walls. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like things that you've done or gotten in game that you could then put as a decoration in your house. It's phenomenal content for people who like immersion, who like role playing. And if that's not Guild Wars 2's community, I don't know what game is more so, you know?
If anybody has like their own like personal guild hall, I think they definitely have that kind of technology there, because if once you have your own guild hall, or if you're like a guild officer or leader of a guild, you know how you can set up like all like the like the furnitures and all that stuff, and you can do a lot. You can do a lot with it. You can even
so the systems are there, is what you're saying. Yeah, the problem is that 99% of players don't get to share that. Right? They're not experiencing that. It's a couple of people in every guild who's doing that kind of stuff. And you're subjected to everyone else's opinion in your guild, and you know, like, to be able to do that kind of stuff in your own house is amazing. I mean, it's fun. It has a whole new level.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. And we've already seen like I always say, like, Gilded Hollow, for anyone that hasn't explored that, like, explore Gilded Hollow from top to bottom. And I absolutely mean the top, because it is massive. And like, you know, what you can do, what people can do, making like their own personal guild hall in there. Just imagine being able to do that in a home instance as well. You know, would just be like, there's the creative level is just through the roof with these things. And the systems, like you said, the systems are already there, and it's a great money making tool. Same thing with the NPC companions. Like, you can, just like with mounts, you can limit them to only certain areas, certain content. And it's now you've got a place that you need to, all this extra ascended gear we've been collecting, there's a place you could put it. And you're going to want to use transmutation charges on all the gear, right? You're going to want to put all this little, you know, decorate your little NPC companions and stuff. There's more money for ArenaNet. Think of, Merrick, you'd be out of transmutation charges in the first day. You'd have to buy some.
I'm already out.
You're already out.
Yeah. Listen, until they give transmutation charges and raids, bro, I got none. Like, that's all there is to it.
Yeah. And I saw Clay said jumping puzzle races. That would be a nice thing to add in the expansion.
Jumping puzzle races, dude.
Like, that's another thing they have, like, the technology for. Like, they can do, like, how they do adventures, have that kind of like that like leaderboard. They could add it to jumping. That would be pretty cool.
I totally forgot about adventures. I even forgot they were called adventures. But I every once in a while have come across one, and I remember when HOT first came out. I got really into it, dude. There was a couple of them that I was really good at, right? And so I would come back every day and check the board, like, have I been dethroned, you know, from the top 10 or whatever? Or you'd be super surprised. You're like, I got a great score. And then, like, everyone that's on your friends list, you see what their scores were, and you're like, what? I didn't know this guy was so good at this. Like, I don't know. We had some great times with that back in the day. I would like to see that expanded upon. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
More jumping puzzles for the new expansion. You know what?
I miss those. I would like more.
How about with actual incentive? So a lot of the issue that I have with Guild Wars 2, and this is why Pew and I are sort of diametrically opposed here, and this is why his website touches on this thing that I just don't do. But so much of Guild Wars 2's incentive, so much of like what you're going to drop from a boss or what you're going to get from a meta event, like you're not getting the big flashy flaming sword of ogre decapitation or whatever it is. You know, you're not getting something big and flashy and fancy. What you're getting is like the little things that amount to things over time. It really does become efficiency. Your loot is your inventory is filled with like small loot that amounts to efficiency and gold farming later. And that's why I'm so bad at what I do. Like, you guys who watch my stream, you see my inventory is full of stuff. I don't want to go through that process. I don't want to open 26,000 bags. I don't want to clean out my inventory to fit in 26,000 bags of junk and then decide which stuff is worth it and what stuff's not worth it. I don't want to do it. And so that's like Guild Wars 2's itemization is very unique. It's very different to any other MMO, and it sort of shapes some of what it does. And so when I see like, do I want to do a jumping puzzle? It's fun, right? I know it's fun, but what am I going to get? There's a chest at the end of that. What could I even possibly get? Think in your brain, like, what is the exciting thing that's there?
Precursor.
That is the exactly. That is the biggest possible thing that you could ever get, and it's so rare that I have been playing this game for 8 years. I started playing in the Head Start before the game came out. I've never dropped a precursor once in my entire life, not once. And so it's for me, that takes away a lot of fun, and it doesn't even have to be big stuff. It could be skins. I think one of the best things they ever did in this game was come out with that stupid thing that everybody wants that no one has, the Con-Ur helmet or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Something that is really rare, that is just a skin. It's not going to make you stronger than anyone else, but at least it gives you a carrot, right? To be like, maybe I'll get something cool today. And they know this, right? ANET knows this, which is why they've started adding infusions and things to world boss events. Like, they know, like, even just a tiny carrot can make a big difference, because why else am I doing it unless I care about efficiency? And if you know Merrick TV, you know I don't. I wish I did. I wish I was Pew. Oh man, I wish.
Cat says cauliflower at the end of these jumping puzzles.
Oh man, that would keep me away forever. That'd be Merrick TV repellent for sure.
Hey, we need another source for cauliflower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. If ANET ever made any kind of like reference to what we do, if Merrick TV was put into the game as an item, you know, what's his name? Wooden Potatoes has a legit, his icon, Wooden Potato, in the game. There's a teapot somewhere in the game. I forgot where it is, but it's real. Mine would legit be a cauliflower. It would make me so sad that that's what it was.
Your cauliflower is already in the Guild MM thing, right?
It is. It is the image, the mural. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It's gonna be like a crafting item. It's gonna have like the Merrick TV symbol or something like that, and you have to use like thousands of cauliflower to get some kind of like new OP raid food. I think that would be perfect, because then people would have a reason to farm cauliflower and use
gosh.
And it would actually be a market.
That's the best and most big brain thing I've ever heard in my life. Can someone? I need to record this and play this later. ANET, please. That's the dream. That's the dream.
Just make sure whatever food it is, when you place it down, it's on a TV tray. That would solidify it.
Yes, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Oh yeah.
Well, we've had some cool ideas here with this expansion. Hopefully with End of Dragons we get some of this stuff. I mean, I feel like ANET should just hire us as like the idea board at this point. You know?
Yo, please, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Where is Darkbringer, man? He's often here. He's not here today.
Well, let's finish up with talking about Pew's amazing website.
Oh boy.
Yes, the www.pewresearchcenter.com. Everybody go there, check it out right now. Obviously, Pew is something you've been working on for a while. It's amazing. It helps people with. Well, why don't you tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, why don't you tell us about it?
Tell us about it.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, I guess. I've only been working on this for
since March, basically since lockdown, and I had nothing else to do, and I just kind of built this website from scratch because there was nothing to do. But I don't know if you guys in chat, if you guys have seen like a Reddit post like sometime a year ago. I made like a Reddit post on like a spreadsheet for like benchmarks for gold farming in the open world. It's basically this, but without the crazy spreadsheet, because Google spreadsheets can only handle so much. Basically, this website is just one, the benchmarks for open world farming. If you want to know how much money you could potentially make in a map, is when you have a pretty decent commander. There's resources like guides on how to get like Living Story 3, Living Story 4 currencies. Where do you get ascended trinkets from? There's a section of the website that probably nobody touches because it's really kind of hard to understand, but there's like a timer section of the map, and that's basically me and my friend Kat. We spent lots of hours just AFKing in the open world trying to find like the cooldown for events that we think that you can like monetize really well in farm. So we would sit there and get like the average cooldown or the respawn rate of that event. So like for example, if you were to do like Tangle Depths, if you looked at the timer page for Tangle Depths, it looks like a mess because all you see is this long list of timers.
Yes.
For like commanders, if anybody wants to learn that map and be really efficient, you can use that page to figure out when the event will be up by the at any time. And so like a scenario that you can do is when you're farming it, you'll do an event and then you'll start the timer and then do another event, start that timer, so on and so forth, and then you'll see an event will be green, it will lit up and be like, hey, it's ready. So you go to that event and you can farm it again, something like that.
I happen to have it right here. Let's take a look.
Oh no.
Bam. Tell us a little bit about the adorable art. What? In fact, I have a Pew question. What's with you and Choya? Can we get? I would like a like with the backstory. I want the origin story of Pew and Choya.
That I don't know how it all started. Before Choya's, I used to be a Quaggan stan. Like I used to just really love Quaggans because they were just adorable. And then Choya's came. I'm like, what the F is this? This is like the ugliest thing ever. But then they came out with like this Choya dance tonic, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of adorable. They're so freaking ugly in game, but
they are, and also kind of edible, I think.
Yes, and they're cannibals.
Kind of cute in a way. It's like so ugly but cute. I don't know if that makes sense, but they're just weird and they're so derpy, and I like it. And so Tiffy is the one who made the artwork for me. I just randomly asked her. I'm like, hi, can you make Choyas for me for my website I'm gonna be building one day? And then she's like, okay, let's go. And then those first 6 Choyas that you see in the front page are the first 6 that she's ever made for me. And I was obsessed. I was like, can you make another 6? And how about another one and another one? And it's just amazing. And it's funny because now it's like a trend in our guild that people commission to buy more.
Guys, yes, absolutely. In fact, everyone in stream, could you look below the stream right now in my About section, scroll down under the donate bar, and look what you see. That's me and Junie and Roz, our cat, in Choya form, made by Tiffy.
Tiffy did amazing work. I love her for it. Like, it's just amazing. Amazing.
So this website, if you guys look through this, it's very well designed, very well supported. There's a huge amount of resources here. Again, if you're into open world efficiency, if you want to know how to make gold, if you want to know how to best take advantage of events in open world, this is the definitive place to be. It's really gotten a bunch of attention. It's gotten sort of like Pew is really entrenched in the world of this stuff, works with other guilds that are like at the tip top of this farming efficiency thing. It really is huge, and this is the #1 place that's being used now, so it's really awesome. Make sure that you go here. If you haven't already, bookmark this, pewresearchcenter.com. That's P-E-U, not P-E-W. That will bring you somewhere else.
That's a different research center. They're much more formal.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right, Pew. You're like right behind them. Any day we're gonna eclipse them.
They don't have any choyas. That's the con.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. We've figured out their crippling weakness. We will kill them with choias.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I love melon, by the way. Anyone on stream probably knows that I'm most of the time I'm eating melon literally as we speak, and every time I see a choya die, I'm just saying,
oh,
they look a little edible to me. That's all. I'm just gonna put that out there.
They definitely are. Path of Fire, end of Path of Fire spoilers, I guess. There's some choyas at the end that you they're all dead, being cooked up and ready to be eaten.
yeah, I would love to see more choyas in the new expansion. Please just add some choyas. Like, for example, like in Sandswept, you'll see like a random pack of like choyas because they're far away from their home, but you'll see them and it'll say lost choya, and it's really sad. But please have that for the new expansion. Just kind of just shove them in there and just say they're lost choyas.
Lost choya. Speaking of things lost and found, Junie is back. Welcome back, Junie.
Welcome back.
Yay!
Drink coffee.
She literally brought me a frappuccino. I have a frappuccino in front of me now, so it's officially coffee break. It is coffee break.
There we go.
X Jigglypuff says, "Who is this nice lady?" That is Junie. She is my wife. We met in Guild Wars 2, if you can believe it. So play video games, meet your future spouses. Who knows? You never know, guys.
Never know. Yeah. So, you got any future plans for your website, Pew?
There's always something to work on. Like
Give us a sneak peek.
I don't know if there's anything like too crazy right now. I just finished like one of my projects. It's like a node farm calculator, so to say. So like if you go on the website and then you go to the gathering choya, it'll instantly bring you up this calculator that it basically tells you based on the farms that and the routes that I made for like efficient gathering. You can pick whatever farm, like for example, like I don't know, Biora Marches. You can do different combinations of glyphs for your tools, and you can see how much money or how much less money you would make by using different glyphs, and you can try out different combinations of them, and then how many characters and time, and it will calculate and it will tell you how much gold you can make per hour or per character, whatever you decide. And so yeah, I just finished that, so that was super cool. I play with it all the
Cool.
time, so I can figure out how much money I can make if I'm gathering a specific place. But like new projects,
We play this game very differently, my friend.
I know.
I'm so glad that people like you exist. I'll just put it out there.
Merrick, you need to put or bring up the gathering section and like do a calculation on there. There is the cutest thing ever. This
Okay.
choya
Oh.
loading wheel.
there is a new choya in there. If you try to use
Alright,
the
where do I go? What do I do?
Go to gathering
Okay.
at the top. Yep, and then just put in. I guess you can just pick anything, right, Pew?
yeah, you can you can even do
Red
just
Child
that.
Cliffs and just that? Okay. Calculate.
Calculate. Let's go.
What? Is that like a somersaulting rolled up choya gif?
Rolling,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Well, that is
Also made-
adorable.
So yeah, when you do the calculation, you can see all the loot that you would usually get in that particular farm, based on the routes that I do, and you can see how much money you make out of it based on the worth of that node specifically, and then plus
the glyphs.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yay! So that's super cool. So I guess in the future I'll have more, more different maps. Right now I don't have a lot, but there's not a lot. There's not too many places that you can actually like gather for a long period of time without like switching to. It basically become alt farming at that point.
Why is there so much information on this page?
Yeah, you can see what the best tools are in terms of like speed.
Volatile. Yeah, volatile are still the best.
Volatile is nice. Glyph of Watchwork is really nice. I don't know if many people have that, but it's really nice right now. Get it if you want to make some extra money gathering.
That's weird.
Bounty is great. Bounty is very great for very specific nodes. Yeah.
If you ever needed more evidence, this man knows all the secrets to making money.
Yo, right? My next question, how much gold do you have personally?
I'm really bad. I don't actually ever have that much gold because I'm the type of person I just spend it all the moment I get it because there's always something new and shiny on the trading post or in the gem
in
store.
real life or in the video game?
Oh, in the video game.
Oh, okay. That's me in real life, so just thought I'd ask. You never know.
Yeah, so like right now I only have 50 gold.
What? No, gold farming master and 50 gold? I even have more gold than you. And I see your tail wagging. Why are you so happy?
Oh, Automatic Chromatic. Oh, that's a great name. Automatic Chromatic has made 600 gold after researching on Pew's website within 15 days.
What? That's a testimonial. You have testimonials popping up in chat, dude. Whoa.
600 gold, 15 days. Wow.
Yay. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways if you like just dig through everything. There's a lot of different methods that you could do and you just kind of pick one and you can make a
7K.
lot of
Wow.
money.
I am jealous,
But
Jigglypuff.
yeah,
that is very impressive, my friend.
So what's super weird about me is, so I made this website, I made like dozens of spreadsheets and everything like that, but I actually don't really care about being rich at all. It's just not my thing. I'm a super weird farmer when it comes to that. Excuse my dog. I don't know if you guys hear my dog.
We can see the tail wagging. Just the tail. That's all we see.
He must be seeing somebody outside. But yeah, I don't care that much about being rich or anything like that. I just want to find ways where I can get money really quick so I can buy the next new shiny thing.
Well, that makes sense.
But yeah, I just like open world in general. Out of all the games that I've played, I think Guild Wars 2 has like the best open world. I think it's amazing what it can do in terms of like team efforts and farming and just how it interacts with everybody in the game. Doesn't matter if you're like a really bad player, a really casual player, a really hardcore player. Like I feel like open worlds like it's a great way to bring people together, a lot of people together all at once.
Of different skill levels, right? I think that's one of the most exciting things the Guild Wars 2 does in World of Warcraft or another game, that like once you cross a certain threshold in difficulty with your guild, like you're doing mythic dungeons or like super raids or whatever, and even in Guild Wars 2 we experience this, right? Like there are people that we love who are great members of our communities that are not going to be able to defeat Doom. It's just never going to happen. So what that creates is sort of like a split in what people can go where, right? I think that what Guild Wars 2 does really well is that there's a lot of content in this game that you can just sort of bring everyone to, and it'll all just work out fine. Like open world events are great content sources for guilds to do together with people that are very skilled and veteran and also very new, or are just never going to quite cross that threshold.
Yeah, I think one of my goals for this website is not only to help people find different ways to make gold. So disclaimer, like my website, as much as information it says, it's definitely like, I will say it's not like the best thing or my way is like the best way to make that money. I'm just here just to kind of like guide you and help you figure out different ways how to make money. But like one of my goals for this website is hopefully to kind of like bring out other commanders that are similar to me that are out there that like really like the open world, and I'd like to see like more commanders try out different things. And I hope that the tools that I have that people would try out, like for example, like a Tangle Depths train or something like that that isn't just the meta, or an Orc Basin train that isn't just the meta. They do the pylon events and do the meta, but at the same time find a way for people to still make a lot of money for both hardcore and casual players. It's gonna be a lot of pugs, you know, hang out with you. But yeah, hopefully I'd like to see that more one day, just more different trains and commanding, all that stuff, and not just Drizzle Wood and Dragonfall and Silver Waste, because everybody knows those are the easiest and best repeatable maps.
Sure. I think overall, like meta events, big zone evolution is something that's pretty unique to Guild Wars 2 and has done really well. I remember the first time that we saw those in HOT and they were so big and so epic. I don't know about everyone else, but I was sad to see it sort of devolve as things went on. I like the bigger, harder ones. I'll never forget Tangle Depths trying to do the Chalk Garrett, right? Like the game couldn't do it at first. You guys remember this? Like no one could beat this thing, and it was so annoying. It was so hard, and it was just like you probably weren't gonna get it. And even once people started to do it, it was like a real touch and go kind of thing. I think as I've gotten older and I play more of these games, I value the possibility of failure, and I think you don't see that as often in modern content, in modern MMOs. So those are always my most exciting times in open world for sure.
Yeah, it makes the success like all the more rewarding, right?
Yeah, and you lose out on that, man. I mean, and I talk about this a lot as well. We should actually probably do like just a whole podcast on this alone. But the way that MMOs have changed, the way that things have evolved, it's trying to evolve in a way that is the most inclusive and fits the lowest. I don't want to say lowest common denominators. That sounds offensive. I just mean the people that have the least amount of time or don't want to put in as much effort or can't put in as much effort. That's great, and there should be things for people like that. But like we as a genre, as a entire genre of MMOs has cheapened itself, I think, to a point where failure is harder to come by than hard-fought success, and or easy success rather, I guess. And I miss it. I really do, because it doesn't just have to just come in the form of raids or in fractal CMs. Even in Guild Wars 2, like I said, I miss those old days where a whole zone full of people cheered when they downed a meta event, you know. Oh, what's another good example of that, dude? What was the one? Not just
Triple Trouble Worm.
Yeah, well, Triple Trouble is the best example, and you're right. I should have thought of that first, because that's still a pain, right? Like even now, after all this time, and that was original content.
New Tequado 2.0.
Ah,
that
okay.
release. That one took a little.
That was more. Yeah, that's true. Another good one is in the domain of Vabi. Is that the one? Is not the one. The one that you had to do for the backpack. The
Marquai Golem one?
Yeah, the Marquai Golem backpack.
Nobody does that anymore.
No one does it, and it was super hard. And so it was really, really obnoxious to do. I can't remember. Yes, Serpent's Ire, Tiffy. Thank you. Serpent's Ire was a nightmare and super challenging. And so when I finally got it, I like, it looked like it was going to happen, right? Like I knew the timer. It looked like there was enough pugs there that I started reaching out to every guild I was in, begging people to come. I PM'd every raider I could find. I'm like, bring your raid builds, let's go. And we got as many people as we could get in this zone. And by the time we won, I like jumped up and cheered because I had failed it like a billion times beforehand. And that made that backpack so much more exciting for me.
Yeah.
Not just because of that, but also because of that stupid bugged quest you had to do in... Talk about not going back and polishing up old stuff that they need to. The fix bugs. What was that bugged event that we had to do for that backpack?
Oh, that was, yeah, it was for the
Marquai
backpack. Oh, I forget which event it was, but I know that it was just impossible to do because they were stuck. Like the golem was stuck there for days and days and days.
What is the zone with difluorite crystals in it? It's that one.
Sandswept.
Sandswept. There's like
Yes.
a golem escort that
Yes, that's it.
it's a script escort that you start like in the
Oh,
cube
yeah.
and then you go outside the cube and then you fight like a golem thing, and it's supposed to like multiply and multiply
Exactly.
and multiply, but it just doesn't. It just stalls. Once you kill the first like clone of this thing, it just doesn't multiply.
Which
And-
means sometimes you have to wait until you can overflow the zone to create a separate instance of the zone, and sometimes that's the only solution. It's so bad.
It wasn't working
Oh,
when
I
we were doing it. I mean, I guess we did it pretty soon after it released, but it just like we couldn't get into any zones. It was a nightmare.
It was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
I had to get Pew to carry me through Serpent's Ire because I could not get. Nobody runs it. Nobody runs it.
No one wants to run it. It's it's tough and sort of annoying.
It's not even like a really great meta. It's kind of
Mhm.
sucks.
It's one of those. It's one of those on the wish list to be revamped, right? We'll add it to the
Revamp
list.
it. Oh my god, please revamp it because it's really one, it's kind of boring, but two, it's some of the parts are just kind of unnecessary and they take forever. Like the first part you do is like, oh, you got to go find 5 champions in the area, and it takes you like 10 minutes because one, the map is huge, but two, like it just takes a while, and then at least the CC phase is decent now because now we have what do you call those drizzlewood things? The way stations, so you can EMP. So at least that
Oh, okay. Yep.
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 kind of
Oh,
lackluster.
Puff says, "What is your best class for each of you, or your favorite class?"
Yeah,
For
Pew.
What specifically?
So, mine is Ellie.
I was gonna say Ellie for Pew. That was my guess. I was right.
I main Ellie in everything: open world, fractals, raids, PvP, everything Ellie. I love Ellie. You just won't see me farming as an Ellie because they die a lot.
Yes, they do.
I'm always either on my Necro or my NG when I'm farming.
All right, Cryptic, what about you?
I mean, it depends on the content, but I mostly stay on my engineer these days. So Hollowsmith all the way.
Yeah, so thematically, I would say Mesmer. I think Mesmer is the coolest class ever thematically. I talk about it all the time. It's Guild Wars 2's like baby, right? Like they made this class, and so many games make classes that are not normal archetypes. You know, like everyone knows everything that comes out of D&D, right? Like you know what a cleric is, a warrior, a wizard, a rogue. Like these are really archetypal classes. Mesmer is not one of those, and yet it's done so well that it feels iconic. It feels really tangible. You know what it is. You know it through and through. You know what its look should be. You know what its vibe should be. You know what its like flavor is so tangibly. And it's not always just that Guild Wars 2 is great at that. I actually think that Revenant is a polar opposite of that. I think it's a mishmash disaster of a class. Thematically, I don't think it's solid. But Mesmer has done so well that I think it's my favorite. But mechanically these days I'm playing a lot of Engie. Yeah, I play a lot of Engineer. I'm like Cryptic.
Yeah, no, NG's where it's at. NG's in a really good place right now, and I mean, all the classes are in a really good place right now. But NG just feels something about it feels right. You know, you feel at home.
Yeah.
So obviously, I still take my Ranger. That's my story character. So
Ranger. Oh
yeah.
God, I don't think I've ever seen Cryptic on a Ranger in my life.
I think we've been in one raid together when I was messing around with Bird Beast, but
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen you as
Yeah, see? No one knows. What is this?
I've taken it to a Pew train before Pew.
Mm.
When was the last time you joined the trade?
That's fair. That's fair.
So I actually have a quick question. Since this is like an MMO, there's a lot of new content in Guild Wars 2, right? Like which doesn't always come up. So we're talking mostly about Guild Wars 2 today, especially since we have a Guild Wars 2 guest.
Oh, Mary.
But
I realized I did not answer. Jigglypuff reminded me.
about what?
About your favorite class.
I did. I said Mesmer, and then but I've been playing Engie mostly.
No, for me.
Oh, for you.
Oh.
Oh, yes, Junie, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
My favorite is definitely Mesmer, thematically, and Jigglypuff, yeah. Thematically, and also just it was a lot of fun, especially in the beginning. I really actually enjoy staff. I wish core mesmer was still a thing. I mean, I like chrono fine. Where I like chrono better than mirage, but I still kind of wish that base mesmer was a reality.
I agree. I hope that the new elite spec feels super mesmery rather than taking it in like a totally different different path. I don't know if anybody remembers what's that one like 2-week period of time that staff mirage was a build in raids, and it got like there was a unintended side effect from a patch that they did, and it made the ambush skill on staff multi-hit as it would pass through a hitbox, which meant that especially on larger hitbox bosses, but just in general, staff all of a sudden became incredibly true, like as a strong class. And so I actually made 2 staves for that build immediately. I played it for that 2 weeks, and I still have them sitting in my bank to this day, just in case I can never play staff mesmer again in the future.
That was a fun time. I love staff mesmer. I just wish it was more viable in different areas. I like it in PvP, but it's still, even in PvP, it's kind of niche.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I would like to see more of that.
I want Axe Mirage in raids.
Axe. I've had enough axe, man. Everything's axe. There's too many axes. I don't like axes. Okay, so like I said, this is, in general, we talk a lot about different MMOs. We're talking a lot about Guild Wars 2 today, but I'm actually hoping that I could get from each of you what MMOs you've played. Like, what is your MMO history? When did you start playing this genre? What brought you into this genre and into Guild Wars 2 eventually? And then finally, is there any other MMO that you're looking forward to in the future or have been considering looking into? We'll start with Pew.
Uh-oh.
So what got you into the genre? What was your first MMO?
Let's see. I was probably like 12 or something like that, and one of my friends, he was playing this this game called Last Chaos, and if you look at it now, it's pretty crappy. And it was crappy probably back then, but I was 12, so I was like, oh, cool, a game that I can play. It was one of those like free to play games, but it wasn't free to play. It was just like pay to win, but it was free. So there were lots of cash shops and lots of shiny stuff. Definitely stole like $500 from my father so I can buy and gamble a lot of stuff.
Whoa!
It was like $500 like over a period of like months.
Yo, that's crazy. We're getting the big story here. I like it.
I was expecting you to say over a period of years, but just
a couple of months, dude. Yeah.
It was bad. I mean, I was 12 and 13. It was my first experience at gambling of some sort. So I was like, oh yeah, let me get this new loot or whatever. Totally bad. But yeah,
loot boxes are a whole nother topic that we need to talk about at some point.
Yes. Add that to the next discussion list because we do.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's actually where my my name actually came from. Piriki.
What?
There was this mob in the game. So basically, how the game works is there's you go up to like level like 200 at the time. Now it's probably like level 500 or something like that. The higher level you are, the more OP you are. And so what you had to do, it was a very grindy game, and what you had to do is just kill mobs. Very specific mobs at very specific levels. And so once you get to like a level 130 kind of a time, there's a certain like dungeon where it's just a cave. It's just like a very narrow cave, and inside it is filled with these things called pirikis, and they're just like these 3-headed doggos with wings, and they were kind of cute. But I think everybody hated them because you needed to farm them so much. It was like this weird like 20 level gap between for you to start getting to the next like zone or whatever. So people would farm that over and over again, and it took you like, if you didn't pay a lot of money for like potions to advance your experience, holy crap, that thing took you probably months just to get to the next level. And yeah, you would just be farming pirikis over and over again, and I'm like, this is the worst thing
I know,
ever.
right,
But
Tiffy?
holy crap, these guys are cute and I like this name. so I'm stealing it.
Nice.
So when I left that game, I'm like, I want to be called that. I'm gonna call Piriki. I just took it because I really, really like it.
Getting the Pew origin story.
Yeah,
here.
the backstory, dude. I
Legit.
know. Was not expecting. That's awesome. So you've been playing Guild Wars 2 for a long time, right?
Yep,
What?
I've been playing it since it came out.
Oh, nice. Has there ever been any other MMO that has sort of like taunted you over to play? Is there anything you're looking forward to soon, or are you like a one MMO guy?
I'm probably like a one MMO guy. Even before Guild Wars 2, like different MMOs, I would only play that specific MMO for a period of time until I get bored. It wasn't until Guild Wars 2 where I kind of just I stayed here, I guess you could say. Where other ones I tried it out for like a couple months, and then found out about something about the game, like too cash shoppy or pay to win, and I'm like, I hate this.
Mm-hmm.
Guild Wars 2 seems to be like the best like sweet spot for me, where there's no subscription fee. I only had to pay it once. There is a cash shop, but it's not pay to win, and the game itself is just amazing. And so I kind of feel like, as like for MMOs specifically, I feel like Guild Wars 2 is probably going to be set for me. I'm pretty bored in that sense because I'm not really interested in like the new games that are coming out. I might check it out because everybody's kind of hyping a lot of other games like Ashes of Creation, and there's another one out there that I can't remember on top of my head.
New World or
Yeah, so like I'll probably watch like gameplays of it, but I probably won't play them as much as I play Guild Wars 2 because I have this like unconditional love for the game now at this point. It's been 8 years and it's kind of like changed my life in many different ways, so
yeah.
to say.
Same.
Um,
Big same.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think I'm probably gonna be with Guild Wars 2 in some form forever.
Nice.
Great game.
Here's hoping it's around for forever. Let's hope
we'll
that's
see.
the case.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, Guild Wars 1 is still up and running, dude. Like, it's crazy to me. They don't support it anymore, right? Like, Guild Wars 1 isn't being added to, but I actually thought it was really cool that ANET came out. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was like several years ago that they said, you know, we're not upping the content for this game anymore. We're not adding anything new, but they moved the game over to like newer, fancier servers. Do you guys remember when they did this? And they're like, we're going to keep the game going indefinitely on much more reliable, newer and fancier servers. So the game's stability is going to be intact and stay good for a long time to come. And that was a really awesome thing for them to do. A lot of games don't do that. The player base for Guild Wars 1 and the amount of money that that's bringing in to ANET every month, which is probably nothing. It's amazing that they were willing to do that. I mean, I think that speaks well to ANET.
I think the festivals still happen too on the game.
They do,
which is pretty awesome.
They do, yeah, absolutely. Oh, did Lotro do that as well? That's cool. That's cool. Some of these old games that are so great, you know, like it's so sad to see them disappear. I think a lot of people think to City of Heroes and things like that. You know, the games that people like were beloved and then died. And can never be found again, which is really, really sad.
Hopefully Star Trek never goes that way.
Yeah, seriously, and it could, because, you know, I worry about it, but...
Yeah.
All right, Cryptic, your turn. Actually, do you mind if we take a break? We should pull this giveaway so I can then get and we'll put up the expansion up after that. All right, guys, so listen, if you have not already, we do have a giveaway going right now. It is the Heart... what is it? Winter's Heart Infusion. It's basically like 600 gold, incredibly awesome looking. Type !enter or rigged in the chat to get in the giveaway. You do have to be a follower of the channel in order to win. And I know you're like, Merrick TV, I don't want to follow, I just want to win free stuff. And I totally get it. I understand. It's just the rules. I don't make them. So make sure you follow and type that in to get in on the giveaway. We're about to pull it right now. So any last minute entrants. And last time I said this, dude, somebody entered literally as I said that and then they won. And it blew my mind. So it can happen. You never know. Also, while she's doing that, don't forget, guys, we have what, 2-3 days left of September. It is a really awesome opportunity. Basically, all subscriptions in Twitch right now are on sale. You save more money with the more months that you subscribe. If you know you're going to subscribe to somebody for multiple months in a row, you can buy 3 months right now and get an even bigger discount. But it does not have to be me. There's so many great Guild Wars 2 content creators out in the Twitchverse. I'm looking at a bunch of them right now on the left-hand side of my screen. If you want to follow or if you want to subscribe and support any of your favorite Twitch streamers, now is the time. It is on sale. It's a great opportunity, so make sure to take advantage of it while this is still happening for the next 3 days.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this thing.
All right, let's do it. Good luck, everybody. Winter's Heart Infusion.
Oh my gosh, congratulations, Yukon!
Yukon, no way,
Yukon.
dude. Congrats, bro. Very nice, man. This is quality armor, guys. This is no joke. This is a nice infusion, a big, hefty chunk of money. So that's good. That's good. Yukon, I still see you in there. I know you're here. If you send me your in-game name, I will send it to you.
I believe his in-game name is Cryptic Villain.
Oh, perfect. I'll send it right over to Cryptic Villain.
Nice.
Right away.
Yeah.
Rigged.
I did say I would rig it for him.
Yeah, I know.
I think I left it in the bank. Okay, guys, so don't go away yet, though. There's one more thing that I really want to give a lot of attention to. We're talking about MMOs today. We're talking about Guild Wars 2 in general. This game is amazing. Most of us have been playing it for forever. We are grizzled old veterans, but there's so much to do. If you have not already played this game, if you've thought about playing this game, if you don't have the expansion or you're brand new to the game and you're sort of on the fence about getting the expansion, we actually have a code for Path of Fire. The expansion right now should give you all the content that you need to do all the elite specs out in the game. So make sure to get in this giveaway if you have not gotten Path of Fire already. My hope is that you will not enter if you already have the expansion. I don't know how many people here may not have it, but I would love to get you on the right track starting out in Guild Wars 2 with everything you need. So it's up right now. Type ! Enter or rigged to get in for your free copy of Path of Fire. By the way, this was donated to us to give to you guys by Flute Girl. I don't know if she's still around, but she's amazing. She is a moderator over at Muckluck's channel, great member of the community, and really awesome that she would donate that for us to give to you. So big shout out to Flute Girl.
Big shout out indeed.
All right, we'll leave this this up for the last little bit of our podcast here. I'll pull it right as we end. And yeah, Cryptic, tell us about your experience getting into MMOs.
Yeah, so I guess I've been playing MMOs for a good little bit of time here. Started out, I mean, obviously I started out like just like a lot of people did with like pseudo MMOs. I mentioned things like, you know, Fusion Fall and stuff like that, some of those weird little off-brand things. Which, by the way, real shame that game died, and then the like recreation of it died. Like, it was really cool to like play with like all your Cartoon Network like cartoons that you watched as a kid.
Wait,
like,
what game was this? What is
Fusion
this?
Fall. I've told you
It's
about
that it's that Cartoon Network thing you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Why did I
basically-
never hear about this ever when it was out? Like, I'd never heard of this.
I don't know, but it was a Cartoon Network MMO, and you got to basically like go around and help out all the different, like, you know, it was just like this dimension colliding calamity, and you would go around and help out all the different Cartoon Network, you know, characters.
That
like,
sounds so cool.
helps, you know, yeah, like help stop it, and like, you know, it was really cool. And your character had like these cool like weapons and stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Apparently they like not a third party, like an indie group brought it back to life, but they got a deceased
Cease and desist.
yeah couple of like a month or so ago, so which sucks because I would have loved to.
Whoa,
what's happening?
what's happening?
Why am I pink?
You
Why is
guys are
Pew
both
pink?
gone. Hold on.
Why are we both pink?
Pew.
Oh no!
What's so funny was I clicked like a button on my keyboard, like I was trying to like alter the volume, and then the moment I clicked it, I turned pink, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? Oh, look, it's like Merrick TV, Inception.
MTV inside of MTV.
Oh,
Oh shoot.
I think this is Junie.
Oh shoot. So okay, so you know how like the alerts were like doing TTS for followers? That was like the old alert box, and I pulled in the new alert box from our other layout, and I think it overwrote this one, which I had no idea your faces were tied into our alert box. So that might have been my bad.
1 second here.
No worries.
But you can keep talking.
I mean, speaking of Fusion, I actually just pulled up a video of it, looking at the indie group bringing it back to life. And man, there's so much nostalgia in this game. So you used to, you know how like you have like pets in some games and stuff like that. Well, in Fusion Fall, you would have these little like pets or assistants or whatever, but they would be minis of each of all the Cartoon Network characters. So you'd have like a mini Powerpuff Girl like backing you up in a fight, or like a mini number 1 or whatever, or you know number 2, or you know, the Codename Kid Next Door stuff, or Ed and Eddie, mini Ed and Eddie, like and it was yeah, that was just, man, so much nostalgia. After that though, or maybe around the same time, it was probably like around the same time, I then got into EVE Online. When did Fusion Fall actually come out? 2009. Yeah, so it was around the same time. So around the same time I got into EVE Online. I think EVE Online came out in like 2007. And all of you know EVE Online. That is a like hardcore, completely different, like different from every MMO out there. Hardcore space, like basically like a spreadsheet simulator, basically. I'm surprised, Pew, you would probably like it. Like,
You know what? I actually thought about trying that game a long time ago. I think it was before Guild Wars 2 was officially going to be released, and I was trying to find like in the next MMO. I think EVE was definitely one of the candidates.
Yeah, EVE, it's definitely past its prime now. It's still a good game, and there's lots of
I got it, guys. I fixed
so much to do in that game, and it's so unique because, you know, it's a player-driven economy, and which is rare, extremely rare as it is. Like 100% player-driven. Nothing is like other than like blueprints occasionally being seeded. Nothing is seeded. Nothing like that. Players make, produce, sell, destroy everything, and that's why a lot of stuff has like such like real in-game value or real-world values. Like ships are worth real money, even though you can't just buy a ship with real money. But it's so different from everything else because of how much like it. The reason that I lost interest in it was because the game increasingly continued to feel more and more like a job. Like the amount of time that I had to put in, and for like the amount of gameplay I was getting out was like the values were way off. Like it was like 80% work, 20% fun gameplay, right?
Yep.
And like it didn't used to be like that. I used to be able to go out and put like 50% work in, and you know, like 50% of it would just be PvP, having fun, you know, like that's a lot of the game is PvP. So it just continued to grow more and more like that, and from what I've heard, it's continued to be that way. But that was definitely like, that was my first true MMO experience. And I still love EVE. I just disagree with like some of the design ideas, but
Ooh, EVE. That's quite a thing. that's its own thing.
You would love EVE because it's a space game, Merrick.
I love space, and I love space games, but I don't like spreadsheets. I don't like space sheets. Okay, I don't want a space sheet. No, I don't. Okay.
Learn to love the spreadsheet.
No. Okay. Here's my beautiful push to talk key. I don't know if you guys can see this. Congratulations to Yukon. We found you. I got your in-game name. Sending this out right now. You're 600 gold richer, bro. Feels good, man.
scratch.
all from the cauliflower, not from the infusion.
Yeah, that's why people actually enter the giveaways. Yeah, so I've been playing MMOs since forever. I've been playing them since EverQuest back in the day. I've played most like AAA MMOs that have come out. I've at least tried them all. I really love the genre. I love the evolution of the genre that I've seen over the years. I feel like it's come a long way. It's gotten better. It's gotten worse. There's so many different things. Guild Wars 2, I have been playing since it came out. I was in the head start, and we were talking a little bit ago about how much Guild Wars 2 has changed Pew's life. Definitely has changed mine as well. I used to live in California. I now live in New York, married to somebody I met in Guild Wars 2, so you never know. It's just absolutely crazy. That said, I do like to play other MMOs from time to time. I like to see where they're at. I keep track of the big four. It's what I like to call them. It's Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, World of Warcraft, and Guild Wars 2. I think those are like the big four games that are still sort of worth following.
ESO is always calling me. So.
ESO is a great game. There's no doubt about it. Each one has something that the others don't. I mean, it literally is that way. So I think what I learned a lot about MMOs and about myself and about all of us, actually, and this was crazy when the genre first came out, because no one knew about MMO burnout. Because MMO burnout is a real thing where you're like, oh God, I hate this game. Like, I can't even look at it. It makes me sick to my stomach. I hate this. I'm never playing this again. Like, that's what everyone thought when they first had the first wave of MMO burnouts. And I used to watch people at EverQuest give away all their stuff, and in World of Warcraft, give away all their accounts. They're like, oh God, I'm never going to play this again. Here, have all my gold. And as we all know, it doesn't work that way. MMO burnout goes away, and then you come back and you're like way into it again, and that's a cycle that everyone goes through. So
all your stuff is gone.
And all your stuff is gone. Dude, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people do that. And now people know better. They know what burnout is. And for the most part, I think a lot of us diehards will just sort of like, oh, you know, I'm so over Guild Wars 2, I'm gonna go play ESO. And oh my God, this game is great. And like, we all still do the same thing. We're like, oh, look at this, ESO's got this and that, and way better than Guild Wars 2. That game sucks. And it's not true, you know, and eventually you end up coming back to Guild Wars 2 and you love it. But I cycle through. Right now, I'm excited for the Shadowlands expansion that's coming out for World of Warcraft. I'm really excited for Cantha coming out. And Ashes of Creation, Pew brought up a few minutes ago. That game, I don't know what to say about that game, dude. If you guys haven't followed any of the reviews or its evolution as it gets closer to release, which is one of those games that maybe it'll never be released, who knows, but it looks so good, it looks so amazing that I'm like, I feel like it addresses so many complaints that I've had about MMOs in general, so many things that I feel like aren't being represented in the genre right now. It's gonna have an offering for, so a lot of really exciting things. I encourage you guys to look it up. If you have not already, you should watch the Lazy Peon review of that game. And if you guys don't know Lazy Peon, he's my hero, dude. He plays MMOs and reviews them on YouTube, and basically just kind of goes from MMO to MMO. It's really, really good. He's actually responsible for one of the really big boons we had in Guild Wars 2 once. You guys can hear me, right? Yes. Okay. Oh, okay, good. Good. Junie said that they couldn't hear me. Yeah, oh, but Cryptic. Oh no, the Discord call. Did it just go down? Uh-oh. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I think they died. I'm fine. But they went down. We're gonna wrap up this podcast in just a second. I'm gonna pull the last giveaway, but I want to make sure they're on stream. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Hello.
Oh, you know what? I should call you guys in the same order.
Okay.
Pink fluffy unicorn, unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
What, did Ricky just gift Pew a sub to the channel? Yes, dude. No way.
But why is
That is
not working?
amazing.
Oh no.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, no. Image, how did you get
Oh,
rid
I
of
didn't
it?
take it with unicorn. This is the other thing. Yes. This was actually my master plan all along. That it's gone now. I finally win. It is finally. I am finally free of it. Wait. Cryptic? Oh, Discord is just like having a fit here. No, Cryptic needs to leave the call, and then I will call. Can you leave the call, Cryptic? Everybody can still hear me, I assume. Sorry about this. It's actually Discord, guys, that's having some sort of weird thing. Cryptic, can you hear me? Cryptic? Cryptic?
Merrick.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
What the heck is happening?
I don't know. Discord's dying.
Yeah, really? Okay, hold on. 1 second. Okay. I tried to add Pew. Pew's back.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah.
Is Merrick a robot for you too, Pew?
Yeah, that was like super weird. You were just in the middle of talking, and all of a sudden it was like you were like super hyped up, and you were like, oh, no, and it just stopped.
Like somebody pulled out one of his batteries slightly.
Okay, I think that's Junie, and then everyone should be back in frame like they're supposed to be. Haha! Success!
Yay!
Okay, everything's okay. This was Discord.
Now you
Sorry
can-
about that, you guys. Ricky, thank you so much for the gift sub, man. Buying Pew a gift sub to the channel. Feels good, man. Feels good. And remember, subs are on sale right now, guys, so take advantage, even if you're subscribing to Juniper Prime instead of Merrick TV. Or, you know, anyone else.
Yeah, for those awesome Monkey Island streams that are going to happen someday.
Yes. Yes.
I'd
Big,
watch
big
that.
stuff.
Quality content.
Oh my god, if Cryptic's going to watch, I'm doing this like next week. Yeah, it's happening.
Okay. You guys heard her. We're going to hold her to it. We're going to hold her to it.
I expect Monkey Island and more Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that'd be
only
good
need one actual like interested viewer, and I will totally stream.
too. All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure everyone was back on channel so that we could thank everyone, make sure that we, you know, wrap it up and appreciate the guys who came out to make this happen. Cryptic Villain, my right-hand man, this would not exist without him. Thank you so much, Cryptic, for co-hosting with me. You are awesome. He does a lot of the background stuff to make sure that this is all organized correctly. Thank you for that. Junie, of course, my right-hand girl. Literally on my right hand. My wife and producer who's always managing the chat and doing so many awesome things for the giveaways. Thank you so much. And Pew, our legendary, amazing guest this week. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate you sharing your insights with us and also your website. You're awesome, guys.
Everybody check
Such
out the
awesome
website, pewresearchcenter.com.
Yes, pewresearchcenter.com.
Give the man love, donations, support.
Yeah, actually, we're hoping the Pew gets a net partner at some point with this website, which would be really nice.
Me and Merrick are just in the same boat where we just can't. It's not working out.
I stopped making jokes about it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's not gonna happen. It's okay. It's all right.
We'll see what happens.
And thank you, the biggest thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the chat. It really means a lot to us. It's so much fun to do this, and it's great to see that there are people who will hang out with us even when we're just doing this podcast and not when we're playing the game. I love MMOs. I love these kinds of dialogues. If you guys are into this, make sure to follow, subscribe. Also join our Discord. It's where we coordinate what we stream, when we stream it, who we stream it with. There's also a section in the Discord for you to give us feedback about Coffee Break, any topics you'd like to be discussed next time, any guests you'd like us to invite, all that kind of stuff. So come and be a part of it. Would be totally awesome. Let's move on now to pulling the last giveaway, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
We'll talk more about like other MMOs and stuff on another podcast.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good, yeah.
Nice. We don't know who the guest will be that time, but I'm going to try to invite a different content creator every time, just to get another voice in there. Cryptic and I are like weirdly similar in most things, so having like somebody else do something different, or that does something different, is also pretty cool.
We're brothers from another mother.
Sure, we
switched at birth.
or the same mother. Don't we look alike?
Yeah,
I feel like we could,
yeah,
you know,
definitely, yeah.
you never know.
I mean, we are both 6'2", just you know.
That's true. Exactly 6'2". We're 6'2", bros.
Slightly different builds. One of us has broader shoulders than the other. You know,
Honestly,
I won't name any names.
I can barely tell you two apart, so I don't know.
Yeah, and she's married to one of us, so
I know.
I won't tell you which one that
You
she's
can
married
be twins
to.
as far as I'm concerned.
All right, guys, we're pulling the giveaway. If you have not already, if you do not have Path of Fire expansion, this is your chance to get it for free. All things aside, all of the jokes that we've given, all of the review and the criticisms we give about Guild Wars 2, we do so with love. This is all of our favorite game. I adore Guild Wars 2. It is 100% worth buying the game, playing the game, spending your time, and we've all played this game for 8 years and we love it. So hopefully you guys will check it out. So if you don't have Path of Fire already, type !enter in the chat right now to get in there and maybe win. So here goes. Drum roll, please. I need a drum roll. I need a drum roll. You know, sound clip. And the winner is.
We should get you a soundboard.
I need a soundboard. Yeah, I also need a foot pedal. A foot pedal would be really nice.
Should just get you like an Elgato.
Oh, look at that!
Right?
Hot reset.
Hot reset. Congrats, my guy. You just got a free copy of Path of Fire, and it feels so good, man. Welcome to Guild Wars 2. I hope you enjoyed the stream. This giveaway wasn't going for that long, so I'm just going to assume that you're still here. Yeah, there he is. Nice, dude.
There you are.
Yay.
Feels great, bro.
Congratulations.
Yep, that's awesome. I hope you will join us in Interior. This is an awesome game. I think you'll like the expansion a lot. Thank you guys again for coming out. I stream almost every day but Saturday. My name is Merrick TV. Cryptic Villain above me, Pewrecky over to the upper right, and Juniper Prime over to my side. I don't know what I would do without these guys. You're all the best. Thank you so much. Follow, subscribe, guys, if you're into this kind of content. We're going to be doing more of it. Make sure you get in on the action. I'm going to go and raid another streamer right now, so thanks again, guys. You're all awesome.
Yay! Thanks for having me. It's
Yeah,
been great.
I had an
That is
idea.
great.
What if we, instead of cycling host, just added a new host each time?
Every time?
Every
Oh,
time,
yeah.
just- yeah.
The giant round table of...
exactly. Pew, you're never leaving. You're stuck here now.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
All right, guys, we're going to go raid one of my favorite streamers in Guild Wars 2, Dawnstar. If you guys have not checked her out already, make sure to follow her when you get there. She's an amazing content creator. I like to highlight anyone who's making this game and community a better place, and Dawnstar is definitely one of them. So make sure to get some Merrick TV hype in the chat when we go over there. Make sure to show her some love as well. I love all of you guys. I hope you have a great one. Stay virus free, and I will see you guys tomorrow.